Alright, we're back again, guys. It took me a little minute to get it going. What do you mean back, Taylor? You just started! Well, yes, I did, but, I was having a bit of trouble trying to get this fucking working. Anyway, wait. We're back reading the Odyssey today. I'm just gonna wait for people to come in and being like, oh my god, Taylor, oh my god, you're back again? Or Inferno, whatever the fuck. Yeah, we're back again reading the Odyssey. I just realized it's been a hot minute, and my roommate's out of the dorm. She's at the beach right now, which sounds much nicer than reading a book, but I need to read the rest of this. This is a really good book. And considering I'm going on a cruise, soon, actually, I'm gonna go on a margarita. I know it's really fucking weird, timing, but my parents are like, hey, do you want to go on a margarita, like, Ville ship, or cruise to Mexico for 4 days and then come back to your graduation, like come back a week before? And I was like, you know what, hell yeah, that sounds really cool. And considering that I won't be around for the other one we had planned originally, but I was gonna be gone for home, so that is why I decided to come on this one. But considering we're going toward shit we're going I'm going on a cruise and I can't really do anything, at least upload or just relax for a few days. I'm gonna do it now. Or talk about, read the book of the Odyssey, because it's been a hot minute. This is taking longer than it. Odysseus just wants to get back to Ithaca, bro. Yeah, we're on book 8 the last time. I think I remember in total there's 12 books, right? La 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 la. 13. Never mind. What do you mean an error? Fuck off! Use a keyframe sequence of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not often being sent enough. How about you shut the fuck up? What do you mean poor? Get the fuck out of here, because my fucking Wi-Fi's really bad? Is that why you're freaking out? Brother, what do you mean? What the fuck do you mean it's poor? Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. What do you mean? Stream status is poor. Okay. Fine, I'll get onto it. I'm pretty sure I'm dropping frames at this moment, but a keyframe sequence frequent 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent often enough, which can cause buffering. The current keyframe frequency is 8.3 seconds. Note that ingestion errors can cause incorrect GOP. I don't know where the fuck to do that. Which does not help at all. I don't know how this is like on hang on. You know what? I'm gonna check the stream myself on my iPad, which I usually do anyway, because it tells me what the viewers are seeing, in a sense, if that makes any freaking sense. Alright. Let's see what's the damage, Houston? It probably is the Wi-Fi, I'm guessing. The Wi-Fi is shit right now. I mean, like, y'all, this is... Is it saying part 3? Are you fucking kidding me? Is it saying part 3 right now? Hello? Hey, yo? No, I said 4. The fuck are you on about? What do you mean 4? Shit right now. I mean... Like, y'all... Oh no, someone's on here now. It's probably Mag. This is like, oh my god, poor. Yeah, it's like poor, but I don't know if that's gonna affect anything, if that's gonna really be bad. Can I just put this as 4, please? Thank you. It's the right part. It's not part 3. Whatever the fuck you said it is. It's something, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna see if resetting it works. If that's gonna, like, do anything. If I go away, that's my fault. But I'm gonna try it because I want to know what that does. You can't really figure things out unless you try it. So, as the 10th Doctor always says, Alonzi, reset stream key. This will end all your streams using this key. You will need to update your streaming software and the new key to start a stream. Are you sure you want to reset your stream and passphrase? No! After reading that, fuck no! You know what? Never mind. We're not doing Alonzi. We're doing... Okay, there's no dropped frames. The fuck do you mean it's poor? There's like nothing... I don't know what you mean. You can pause recording while you're streaming? I don't know. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm yawning too much. I'm live, hee. I know this is like in the middle of the day, and I apologize for this for not being like scheduled, but I couldn't do it any other part. I was like, oh yeah, I was gonna grab my charger before going into reading the book. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go a little ways away, and then we'll start reading it. What? Alright, welcome back, friends. As my professor would say, my accounting professor would say that every time. I know this is like a little cheesy, but I go to a Christian college, like a private Christian college, and we do this thing every beginning of class where we just kind of take a silence. Ow, my knee. Kind of like a little silence when, hey Maggie, hello. We kind of take like a silence for like, oh, you know, God, for a little bit, and then every time we like have after that moment of silence ends, I'm just like, and then my professor, not me, but like my professor always goes, okay, welcome back, friends, and then we proceed on with the class, which is financial accounting. Okay, hi Magby. I was just explaining a memory that popped up because I did a phrase that one of my professors does. So it might be delayed because considering my stream health is completely poor right now. So answering your questions again might be delayed, but they're not exactly. If it starts like skipping, I'll like reread the sentence whatever I'm on. But the streaming isn't too far away from when I started recording, so the chat might be okay, but let me just check how my iPad's doing. Oh, cool! I'm actually responding faster. The streaming... Maybe, I don't know. But I'm gonna do the same thing where I check the chat on my iPad to my side, because I'm gonna be reading the book. And I'm not looking at the camera, so... But I'm gonna load up, as usual, our waves. Our wave sounds, because why not? And considering that this is probably the coolest part of the book, we're gonna make it a little bit fitting, which is, I'm gonna make sure this is working okay. We're going to make it darker. Okay, I'm looking at my iPad, sorry. I'm getting trailed off too much, but I want to make sure everything's synced up. I thought to do this moody... I know this is deep sleeping video, but I don't give a shit. It's waves. It's what we do with every freaking Odyssey reading from this point, to kind of make it a little bit more engaging, because, you know, it's on an ocean. It's in Greece, you know? But yeah, considering Alright, I'm gonna make sure this is... Okay, I'm gonna do a couple sound checks to see if this is, like, loud enough. Or if it's too overbearing. Oh, wait, there's a logo. Let me jump ahead. La 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 la. Okay. 6 minutes. Okay, we're gonna do that. Okay. Tell me if this is too loud, too... whatever the hell. Like, if I talk like this in a normal, like, something, I don't know, like, oh, there's 2 people watching now. If you want me to talk like, I don't, you know the drill. Talk to me, Houston. I've been kind of obsessed with space recently now that the Artemis 2 kind of stuff happened, and what's been going on with the moon and Project Hail Mary. I fucking love that movie. Never read the book. Okay, it sounds good. Cool. I'm gonna drop my headphones because otherwise they'll be too distracting. But if the waves are fine, they're not too loud, then we are... Oh, great. Cool. They're just right. Awesome. All right. So, let's get into reading the book, shall we? We're on book 8 now. I think, if I remember correctly, there's 9, 10... Wait, no. We're way past that. This is 23... No. This is this is 13 we're on. I can't read Roman numerals. This is 13, and then 14, and then 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, there's 23 books in total, and we're at 14 right... No, wait. 13? 13 right now. I think that's where we left off, because I remember we got 12, I believe. So, doing the math, we got 11 books left to go for the Odyssey alone, so... Yay! So book 13, or book XIII, 3 I's. So, this is the chapter where Odysseus, or Ulysses, but we're gonna call him Odysseus because we all know who's Odysseus. He leaves that kingdom he was talking with the king for a while, and then he returns to Ithaca. Finally returns to Ithaca. Yeah, let's see what happens. Whoa, let's see what happens. Dude, bringing back the idea of doing this style of story where they kind of run into monsters and bullshit like that, it literally... The story mode, Minecraft story mode idea I had for that was, I love it. I would love to do something like that, especially when, again, I think I mentioned this last time I told about it, they go literally through different portals. We don't see a whole lot, but it would be so fun to do. It was one of like the side ideas I thought of, other than the major stories I do. But like, God, it'd be so much fun. It'd be like a little mini series or something. I don't know how you would, like little bites, kind of like with what I do with my shorts. Yes, please. Well, yeah, thanks Magby for the support. Yeah, it is really awesome. It's a cool idea because considering how similar, surprisingly it is similar to the Odyssey, that whole part of the game. I even referenced it. I'm gonna be referencing it in, I think, the documentary a couple times. I'm like, what is this, the fucking Odyssey? But to have that joke in there. But yeah, without further dilly-dallying. What's that? I think I heard a car. We're gonna continue on. Right. Thus he did speak, and they held their presence. I read that wrong. We're already out of the gate with misreading things. Thus he did speak, and they all held their peace throughout the covered cloister, enthralled by the charm of his story, till presently Cleinias began to speak. Odysseus, said he, now that you have reached my house, I doubt you not... I have to read this English again. Now that you have reached my house, I doubt not you will get home without further misadventure, no matter how much you have suffered in the past. To you others, however, who would come here night after night to drink my choicest wine and listen to my bard. Oh yeah, I forgot. The bard was singing and Odysseus is just like... like he was just... a poor guy. I would love to read you writing the portal arcs for the order. Yeah, because we don't get a lot. I even saw a person talking about, like, this would be kind of funny if someone made, like, a little mini-series about them going to different portals. I'm like, I gotcha. I have the exact same idea, and people are not. Anyway. Not getting distracted. To you others, however, who come here night after night, drink my choicest wine, and listen to my bard, I would insist as follows. Our guest has already packed up the clothes, wrought gold, and other valuables which you have brought for his acceptance. Let us now, therefore, present him further, I did it again. Each one of us with a large tripod and a cauldron. Damn, they're giving him, like, this man everything. We will recoup ourselves by the levy of a general freight, for private individuals cannot be expected to bear the burden of such a handsome present. Again, they're calling him out like how handsome this fucking guy is. He must be a really good-looking guy. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, I don't blame him. Greeks, them and their bodies, bro. Like, them and their beautiness, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, look at their freaking statues. Like, they'd find that. Like, hello? Like, oh, it's so funny. I mean, Penelope's lucky she has a man like him, yet she doesn't know he's alive. Or does she know in the book? I don't quite remember. I wonder how they're gonna portray this in the movie. Everyone approved of this, and then they went home to bed, each in their own his own abode. When the child of morning, rosy-fingered dawn, appeared, they hurried down to the ship and brought their cauldrons with them. When Cleinias went on board and saw everything so securely stowed under the ship's benches that nothing could break adrift and injure the rowers. Then they went to the house of Cleinias to get dinner, and he sacrificed a bull for them in honor of Zeus, who is the lord of all. They then set the steaks to grill and made an excellent dinner, after which the inspired bard, oh gosh, here we go with the Greek words again. How do you say his name again? It's a real, pronunciation. Here we go again. Wait, hold on. Demodicus? Okay, I can't remember that. They set the steaks to grill and made an excellent dinner, after which the inspired bard, Dominicus, who was a favorite with everyone, sang to them. But Odysseus kept turning his eyes toward the sun, as though hastening to his setting, though he was longing to be on his way. Again, the bard is basically just triggering him at this point. He's just like... I just found it so funny, this, yeah, they got this, yeah, I'm reading. Oh gosh, like, it's just so sad, and the king even's like, stop, dude, you're making him, like, feel worse. Even the king's like, are you good? Okay. As one who has been all day plunging a fallow field with a couple of oxen keeps thinking about his supper and is glad when the night comes that he may go and get it. For all his legs can do is carry him. Oh, to do is carry him. Even so did. I almost said Ulysses. Even so did Odysseus rejoice when the sun went down, and he at once said to the Phoenicians, I think that's how I pronounce them, Phoenicians or something, addressing himself more particularly to King Ancrinius, the nice gentleman that we met. Sir, and all of you farewell. Make your drink offerings and send me on my way rejoicing, for you have fulfilled my heart's desire by giving me an escort and making me presents, which I heaven grant that I may turn to good account, not return. May I find my heaven. I skipped a line. May I find my admirable wife living in peace among friends, and may you whom I leave behind me give satisfaction to your wives and children. May heaven vouchsafe you every good grace, and may no evil thing come among your people. Basically, he's the long-winded version of saying, goodbye, my friends, you were so sweet, I hope everything goes well for your subjects and stuff. Phoenicians. Okay, I was kind of close. Phoenicians? It's a bard's job. Yeah, like the whole thing I was talking about the bard. I said barb. My bad. God damn it, Barb. Thus he did speak, and his hearers, all of them, approved his saying and agreed that he should have his escort, inasmuch as he had spoken reasonably. And Clinius before said to his servant Protonius, mix some wine and hand it around to everybody, that we may offer a prayer to our father Zeus and speed our guest upon his way. Protonius mixed the wine and handed it to every one in turn. The others, each from his own seat, made a drink offering to the blessed gods and that live in heaven. But Odysseus rose and placed the double cup in the hands of Queen Arete, yeah, because there's Crete, so it would be Arete. Farewell, Queen, he said henceforward and forever, till age and death and the common lot of mankind lay their hands upon you. Now I take my leave, and happy in this house with your children, you people, and with King Ancrinius. Wow, he's saying goodbye to it's so funny how, you don't have to say goodbye to a group of people. He literally goes to every person and being like, hey, bye, you do well for your role, it's a very formal thing, damn. Again, I'm just, the fact people were like this back then is crazy, they had all that time to, say words to each other in that manner. It's crazy. Nowadays, it's just bye, gotta go. I gotta go and do the daily parts of life. It's just more snappy. Oh no! A little rip in the page, but that's okay. As he spoke, he crossed the threshold, and Clinius sent a man to conduct him to a ship and to the seashore. Let me make sure my flippin', Oh, did I mention that this might be the last video I might record on my, Dell laptop, because I ordered a new one. So, I'm getting a Lenovo. I think that's how you spell it, or say it. Not spell it, but pronounce it. But I'm ordering one now. It's gonna get here by next week. Because I had this Dell for 5 years, and that's how long you can really push. Well, 7 years if you push the laptop, but this thing is getting quite old. And considering I upgraded my phone and my tablet after 5 years, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a new laptop. Yay for decent human beings and manners. Yeah, I know. I wish we had that more. I mean, we had some of that in the 50s. We still kind of retain that, but now since technology and shit has gone crazy, it's holy shit, people are snappy as fuck. It's I don't know what happened, dude. I really don't know. Alright, Akreed also sent some maidservants with him, one with a clean shirt and a cloak, other to carry a strong box, and a third with corn and wine. When they got to the waterside, the crew took these things and put them on a board with all the meat and drink, but for Odysseus, they spread a rug and a linen sheet on deck that he might sleep soundly in the stern of the ship. Oh, they gave him a little bed! Oh, I'm sorry, that's really cute. They gave my guy a... It's so... Oh, they thought of everything. Like, here, they wanted to make sure he was fine. Then he too went on board and laid down without a word, but the crew took every man in his place and loosened the hawser from the pierced stone which it had been found. Thereon, when they began rowing out to sea, Odysseus fell into a deep, sweet, and unlike death-like slumber. Like, my man's exhausted. He's been through a lot. Let the boy rest, for Christ's sakes. Wait, so they're... Oh, that's interesting. They actually, in the book, they actually had a crew go with him. I think that's what's being implied, right? Like, yeah, man, we got this, dude. Let's see. The ship bounded forward on her way as a four-in-hand chariot flies over the course when the horses feel the whip. Her prow curvetted as if there were a neck of a stallion, and a great wave of dark blue water seethed in her wake. She held steadily on her course, and even with a falcon, swiftest of all birds, could not have kept pace with her. Thus then she cut her way through the water, carrying who was one as cunning as the gods, but now who was sleeping peacefully, forgetful all he had suffered both on the field of battle and by the waves of the weary sea. When the bright star that heralds the approach of dawn began to show, the ship drew near to land. Now there is in Ithaca a heaven of old merman Phorcys, which lies between 2 points that break the line of sea and shut the harbor in. These shelter it from the storms of wind and sea that rage outside, so that when once within it, a ship may lie without even being moored. At the head of this harbor there was a large olive tree, and at no great distance a fine overarching cavern sacred? Yeah, I think sacred. Sacred to the nymphs who are called Naiads. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Naiads, so that's close enough. There were mixing bowls within it, and wine jars of stone, and bees hive there. Moreover, there were great looms of stone, which of the nymphs weave their robes of sea purple, very curious to see, and at all times there is water within it. It had 2 entrances, one facing north by which the mortals can go down into the cave, while the other comes from the south and is more mysterious. Mortals cannot possibly get in by it, as it is the way taken by the gods. Into this harbor, then, they took their ship, for they knew the place. She had so much way upon her that she ran herself her own length onto the shore. When, however, they had landed, the first thing they did was to lift Odysseus with his rug and linen sheet out of the ship and lay him upon the sand still fast asleep. Man, he's been asleep this whole time. They took out the... I just love that. They took out the presents which Athena had persuaded the Phoenician... Okay, where's that word again? What was the pronunciation for that? Yeah, it makes sense that he has a book to cover. There's epic... Right. The Epic, they kind of did that differently, where they just let him go solo. Like, oh, he's really fighting now, but a crew makes sense because Odysseus is not a crewman. Like, he's a king, you know? He's got other shit. He's not... So he's not, like, built for that knowledge. And also, like, this was the time when slaves were a thing and subjects, so he literally had the orders to do that. Bro lost all of his men, technically. I think. I don't remember. Did we already counter Zeus? I think we did, because the sun god, we already did that. Alright. Wait, I was gonna look at the pronunciation, that's why I stopped. Phoenicians, yeah. Phoenicians to give him when he was setting out on his voyage homewards. They put all these together by the root of the olive tree away from the road, for fear some passenger might come and steal them before Odysseus awoke. And then they made the best of their home again, their way home again. But Poseidon did not forget the threats of which he had already threatened Odysseus, so he took counsel with Zeus. "Father Zeus," said he, "I shall no longer be held in any sorts of respect among you gods. If mortals like the Phoenicians, I'm going to call them that because it's faster. I know that's like pronouncing them wrong. Who are my own flesh and blood, so such small regard for me. I said I would let Odysseus get home when he had suffered sufficiently. I did not say that he should never get home at all, for I knew you had already nodded your head about it and promised that he'd do so, but now they have brought him in a ship fast asleep and have landed him in Ithaca after loading him with more magnificent presents of bronze, gold, and raiment that he would never have brought back from Troy, if he had his share of spoil and got home without misadventure." Then Jove answered, "What, O Lord of the earthquake?" No, not Jove, Zeus. "What, O Lord of the earthquake, are you talking about? The gods of Iomedes wanting in respect for you. It would be monstrous were they to insult one so old and honored as you are. As regardless mortals, however, if any of them is indulging in insolence and treating you disrespectfully, it will be always rest within yourself to deal with him as you may think proper. Just do so as you please." "I should have done so at once," replied Poseidon, "if I were not anxious to avoid anything that might displease you. Now, therefore, I should like to wreck the..." Oh my god. Poseidon's like, "Respectfully, I hate this guy. I'm gonna kill the son of a bitch. He hurt my son, and I'm gonna kill him." Do I make this in school? Yeah. Speaking of that, I think I mentioned this earlier, that my friends, I had a couple friends, including my college roommate and a friend back home, they read this in school. And this was a part of the curriculum. But I wasn't in those classes, and I didn't grow up with that. So this is like, Epic kind of made me want to read the original text for this. So I thank Jorge for that. And now here I am, excited to see where Ilium goes. But man, damn, Zeus is like, "Yeah, do what you may please, brother," because Poseidon and Zeus are actually brothers. So it's really funny that he's just like, "Yeah, I hate this guy, let me kill him." Oh god. "I should like to wreck the Phoenician ship as it is returning from its escort. This will stop them from escorting people in the future. And I should also like to bury their city under a huge mountain." "My good friend," answered Zeus, "I should recommend you at the very moment when the people from the city are watching the ship on their way, to turn into a rock near the land and looking like a ship. This will astonish everybody, so then you can bury their city under the mountain. Oh, so is Poseidon also the earth too? So he's just kind of like, I want to go and do an earthquake, brother." Like, and Zeus is like, now, little guy, like, you'll be, or big bro. No, it's the other way around, because Zeus is, like, younger, isn't he? I don't remember. Poseidon, Zeus. I said haste, I put hate. Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades, the worst triplets, yeah. Yeah, Zeus being an asshole. He always was. He always was an asshole. When the earth encircling Poseidon heard this, he went to Syria, where the Phoenicians live, and stayed there till the ship, which was making rapid way, had got close in. Then he went up to it and turned it to stone and drove it down with the flat of his hand so as a root in the ground. After this he went away. So literally the crew was just trying to get back home, and he just came and like, "Nah, bro, you're not going anywhere." The Phoenicians then began to... The notion... I don't know, I can't give up on it. Then began talking amongst themselves, and one would turn towards his neighbor saying, "Bless my heart, who is it that can have rooted the ship in the sea just as she was getting into port? We could see the whole of her only a moment ago." And this is how they talked. But they knew nothing about it, and Inclinius said, "I remember now the old prophecy of my father. He said that Poseidon would be angry with us for taking everyone so safely over the sea that he would one day wreck a Phoenician ship as it was returning from an escort, and bury our city under a high mountain. This is what my old father used to say, and now it's all becoming true. Now therefore let us do as I say. In the first place we must leave off giving people escorts when they come here, and then the next let us sacrifice 12 picked bulls to Poseidon, and that he may have mercy upon us, and not bury our city under the high mountain." When the people heard this, they were afraid and got ready the bulls. They're like, "Oh God, Poseidon's gonna kill us all!" Like, they were like, "We gotta sacrifice 12 of these bulls." Yeah, I think he can cause earthquakes because they're part of the sea. Oh yeah, because, well, technically water is just in them, and it's over land. I mean, so it only makes sense that he's powerful, like, of earthquakes. Thus did the chiefs and the rulers of the Phoenicians pray to King Poseidon, standing around his altar, and at the same time Odysseus woke up once more upon his own soil. He had been so long away that he did not know it again. He's been away for so long, he forgot what it looked like. Oh my god, that's so sad. I mean, 20 years? I mean, yeah. 20 years is a long-ass time. Moreover, Zeus's daughter, Athena, made it a foggy day so that people might not know of his having come. That's an interesting way to say it. And she might tell him everything about either his wife or his fellow citizens and friends recognizing him until he had taken his revenge upon the wicked suitors. Oh boy, here comes the Ithaca saga, everybody. Everything therefore seemed quite different to him. The long straight tracks, the harbors, the precipices, the godly trees appeared all changed, and he started up and looked upon his native land. So he smote his thighs with the with the flat of his hands, and cried out loud despairingly. "Alas," he exclaimed, "among of what manner of people am I fallen? Are they savage or uncivilized or hospitable or humane? Where shall I put this treasure, and in which way shall I go? I wish I'd stayed over there with the Phoenicians, or I should have gone to some other great chief who would have been good to me and given me an escort. Is that I do not know where to put my treasure. I cannot leave it here, for fear someone should get hold of it. In good truth, with the chiefs and the rulers of the Phoenicians have not been doing fairly by me. I have left me in the wrong country. No, they didn't, you asshole. Well, he doesn't know that. He's desperate. This man's depressed. He's expecting everything to, like, him not to get home by this point. It's been so long since last has seen a son. Lost to this monster. They left me in the wrong country. They said they would take me back to Ithaca, and they have not done so. May Zeus, the protector of suppliants, chastise them, for he watches over everybody, punishes those who do wrong. Still, I suppose I must count my goods and see if the crew have gone off with any of them." He's like, "Bastards, they left off, they trucked me and got me here." Like, literally, that's what he's saying. "They were just trying to mug me." He counted his goodly coppers and cauldrons, his gold and all his clothes, but there was nothing missing. Still he kept grieving about not being in his own country, and wandered up and down by the shore of the surrounding sea, and bewailing of his hard fate. Then Athena came up to him as disguised as a young shepherd of a delicate and princely Mayan, with a good cloak folded up double about her shoulders. She had sandals on her comely feet, and held a javelin in her hand. Oh, it's a sword, I think. Odysseus was glad as he saw her and went straight up to her. "My friend," said he, "you are the first person whom I've met within this country. I salute you. Therefore I beg you to and I beg you to be well disposed towards me. Protect these my goods and myself too, for I embrace your knees and pray to you as though if you were our god. Tell me then, and tell me truly, what land and country is this? Who is it in its inhabitants? Am I on an island, or is this the seaboard of some kind of is it the seaboard of some continent?" Athena answered, "Stranger, you must be very simple, or must have come from somewhere a long way off, not to know what this country this is. It is a very celebrated place, and everybody knows it east and west. It is rugged and not a good driving country, but it is by no means a bad island, for there is of it. It grows any quantity of corn and also wine, for it is watered both by rain and dew. It breeds cattle and also goats. All kinds of timber grow here, and there are watering places where the water never runs dry. So, sir, the name of Ithaca is known even as far as Troy, which I understand must be a long way off from this Aegean country." Odysseus was glad at finding himself, as Athena told him, in his own country, and he began to answer, but he did not speak the truth, and made up a lying story in the initiative wildness of his heart. "I heard of Ithaca," said he, "when I was in Crete beyond the seas. Now it seems I've reached it with all these treasures. I left it as much as more behind for my children, but I'm flying because I killed Aurelius, Aurelius, son of Idomeneus. Hang on. He's like, man, I'm glad, but I'm gonna lie, because I don't know who you are." Orsilochus. That looks pretty close enough. And Idomeneus. Yeah, I was close enough, I think. Maybe. I don't know. The fleetest runner in Crete. I killed him because he wanted to rob me of the spoils I got from Troy with so much trouble and danger both on the field of battle and by the waves of the weary sea. He said that I had not served his father loyally at Troy as a vassal, but I had set myself up as an independent ruler, so I lay in wait for him with one of my followers by the roadside, and speared him as he was coming into town from the country. It was a very dark night, and nobody saw us. It was not known, therefore, I killed him. But as soon as I had done so, I went to a ship and besought the owners, who were the Phoenicians, to take me on board and set me in Pylos or Elias, where the Epeesians rule, giving them as much spoil as satisfied them. They meant no guile, but the wind drove them off their course when we sailed till we came hither by night. It was all we could do to get inside the harbor. None of us said a word about supper though we wanted it badly. We all went on the shore and lay down just as we were. I was very tired and fell asleep directly, so they took my goods out of the ship and placed them beside me where I was lying upon the sand. Then they sailed away to Sidonia, where I was left there with a great distress of mind. Such was his story, but Athena smiled and caressed him with her hand. She then took a form of a woman, fair, stately, and wise. "He must be indeed a shifty, lying fellow," said she, "who could surpass you in the manner of craft, even though you had a god for your antagonist. Daredevil that you are, full of guile, unwearying in deceit, you cannot drop your tricks and your indistinctive falsehood. Even now that you're in your own country again, we will say no more. However, about this we can both of us deceive upon occasion. You're the most accomplished counselor and orator among all mankind, while I for diplomacy and subtlety have no equal among the gods. Did you not know Zeus's daughter, Athena, who have been ever with you, who kept watch over you in all your troubles, and have made the Phoenicians take so great a liking to you? And now again I am here to talk things over with you and help you hide the treasure I made the Phoenicians give you. I want to tell you about the troubles that await you in your own house. You've got to face them and tell no one, but neither man or woman that you have come home again. Bear everything and put up with every man's insolence without a word. I love how Athena's just like, yeah, dude, I've been there the whole time. I like how she's just been there, and like in Epic it's different, where she's just kind of like, you know, eh. There's a monster keeping away from his son. Yeah. Sounds too close to Lucas too. Wait, in which context would it sound like Lucas? I'm curious now. You say Lucas, I'm like, where? I just love fucking Athena. She just comes up and she's like, dude, I've seen you go through a lot of shit. You need help from me. You have a lot going at home, so it's gonna be a little difficult. So, yeah. Oh, did I? Huh. Oh, okay. I'm guessing that it was probably a name, the one I read earlier. It sounded a lot like the pronunciation. I mean, actually, Lucas is an actual Greek name originally, I think. Right? Let me ask Siri. Hey Siri. Where did the name of Lucas come from?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia and simplekids.net.
Yep. Masculine name of the Latin origin meaning to shine is derived from the Greek name Lucas, meaning man from Lucania, a historical region in southern Italy. There we go. Sorry, crazy Florida fucking drivers outside. Alright. We're gonna continue Athena's monologue, I guess. And Odysseus answered, a man, a goddess. You may know a great deal, but you're constantly changing your appearance. That is, when he meets you, it is a hard matter for him to know whether it is you or not. This much, however, I know exceedingly well. You're very kind to me as long as we Achaeans were fighting before Troy. But from the day on which we went aboard ship after having sacked the city of Pyrum, and heaven dispersed us from that day, Athena, I saw no more of you. I cannot ever remember your coming to my ship and help me in difficulty. I had to wander on sick and sorry till the gods delivered me from evil, and I reached the city of Phoenicians, where you encouraged me and took me into the town. And now I beseech you in your father's name, tell me the truth, for I do not believe I'm really back in Ithaca. I'm in some other country, and you're mocking me and deceiving me in all you've been saying. Tell me then truly, have I really gotten back to my own country? You're always taking something of that your own sword in your head, replied Athena, and that is why I cannot desert you in your afflictions. You are so plausible, skewered, and shifty. Anyone but yourself returning from so long a voyage would at once have gone home to see his wife and children. But you do not seem to care about asking after them or hearing any news about them till you have exploited your wife, who remains at home vainly grieving for you and having no peace night or day as the tears she sheds on your behalf. Damn, she's just like, dude, listen, like, you're crazy, dude, like, come on, you're home already, stop being such a fucking, like, depressed fuck sap. So is Lucas canonically Greek or Italian? I mean, yeah, it does fucking fit, because, because Greeks love telling their fucking stories. I mean, look at the fucking Odyssey. Look what fucking Odysseus did. He told this whole fucking story, like, oh, pain, I just, but, like, oh, him being, oh, that's so cool. No wonder I got ghosted. Like, I love Lucas as a character. No, just kidding. But yeah, it's great. I like it does sound like a name from that language. It does make a lot of sense. Even though Lucas has a different spelling, there's the one we know, which is the L-U-C-A-S, KAS, which is I think the Swedish version, and then there's the LUKAS. Not K, I meant C. LUCAS, which I think is more the Greek, or like the well-known like spelling of the name. There's 4 people watching this? Oh my gosh. I just want to hug him. Wait, who? Odie or Lucas in this context? Lucas wrote Jesse's Odyssey. No, literally, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Didn't they also? But you're pointing out the thing that he literally wrote in a journal during their whole Portal Arc bullshit. It literally, I'm telling you, it is the Odyssey, guys. All roads lead to the Odyssey. Again, I don't know if the developers at the time took inspiration, but it's a pretty like universal story, so it makes sense. It's a really cool. Like, what? Hello? Okay, so Greek, Swedish, and sprinkle in some Italian. Yeah, that fits. I absolutely love the connections I'm making right now. This makes me more want to get into making the fucking the thing. Oh my god, it'd be so fun. That's like that's a summer project to work on. I can imagine, like, freaking Jesse, like, trying to persuade the way Odysseus does. He's just like, man, son, old builders, we come in peace. We only want your atlas. We're just trying to get home, man. I'm tired. And then Adrian's just like, what the fuck are you talking? What the fuck is this shit? What the hell is this kid doing? What is he at? What is he talking so politely? We don't do that. That's been like ages ago. Alright, moving on. I love how Athena just called Odysseus, skewed and shifty. She's like, you are a little bit sensitive there. As for my not coming near you, I was never uneasy about you, for I was certain you would get back safely, though you would lose all your men. And I did not wish any to quarrel with my uncle Poseidon, who never forgave you for having blinded his son. I will now, however, point out to you that you lie of the land, and you will then perhaps believe me. This is the haven of the old merman Feroces, and here is the olive tree that grows at the head of it. Near it is the cave sacred to the Naiads. Here too is the overarching cavern, in which you have offered many an acceptable hecatomb to the nymphs, and this is where the wood mountain nutrient. As she spoke, the goddess dispersed the mist, and the land appeared. Then Odysseus rejoiced at finding himself again in his own land, and kissed the mountainous soil, and lifted his hands and prayed to the nymphs, saying, Naiad nymphs, daughters of Zeus, I made sure that I was never again to see you. Now therefore I greet you with all loving salutations, and I bring you offerings as in the old days of Zeus' redoubtable daughter, who grant me life, and bring my son to manhood. Take heart and do not trouble yourself about that, rejoined Athena. Let us rather set about stowing your things at once in the cave, where they all will be quite safe. Let us how we can best manage it all. Odysseus is like, oh my god, I gotta do this. Like, come on, guys, I need to do shit. And then Athena's like, well, hold your horses there, dude. Stop, slow down, one thing at a time. Let's get your stuff in there first. Stop being so eager. What the hell? That's literally what it is. Oh my god. Sorry, I picked up something that was on the ground. She's like, whoa there. Like, chill, take a massive chill pill for a second. Therewith she went down to the cave and to look for the safest hiding places, while Odysseus brought up all the treasure of gold, bronze, and good clothing which the Phoenicians had given him. They stowed everything carefully away, and Athena set a stone against the door of the cave. Then the two sat down by the root of the great olive, and consulted how to compass the destruction of the wicked suitors. Who the fuck is texting me right now? Oh, it's just a Discord thing. Never mind. Never mind. Let me put this on, like, sleep mode. It's only, like, 5 o'clock. Why am I tired? I slept in today. My bad, sorry. Odysseus, said Athena, noble son of Latres, think how you can lay hands on these disreputable think that's like, I'm sorry, this is a word I should know. I think it's it's disreputable people who have been lording it in your house these 3 years, courting your wife and making wedding presents to her, while she does nothing but lament your absence and giving hope and sending encouraging messages to every one of them, but meaning the very opposite of all she says. And Odysseus answered, in good truth, goddess, it seems that I should have come to much the same bad end in my own house as Agamemnon did, if you had not given me such timely information. Advise me how I shall best avenge myself. Stand by my side and put your courage in my heart as on the day when we loosened Troy's fair diadem from her brow. Help me now as you did then. I will fight 300 men, if you, goddess, would be with me. Literally his way of saying, can stand by me, Athena. I gotta take these sons of bitches down. Trust me for that, said she. I will not lose sight of you when we once set about it, and I imagine that some of those who are devouring your substance will then be spattered with the pavement with their blood in their brains. Oh my god! Damn, Athena! Holy shit! She's just like me for real. I really like how I absolutely adore how, like, it's interesting how this is different, because Athena left Odysseus in a time in the musical epic, but in the original story it looks like she kind of just sticks there, which is really cool. She just kind of was just his right-hand man, like her right-hand god for a while. She's like, this man's great. I love him. I'll begin by disguising you, so that no human shall know you. I will cover your bodies with bodies. I will cover your body with wrinkles, and you shall lose all your yellow hair. Is he blonde? Huh? What? Odysseus is blonde? Hang on a minute. I will clothe you in a garment that shall fit all who see it with loathing, and I'll blare your fine eyes for you and make you an unseemly object in the sight of your suitors, of your wife, and the son whom you left behind you. And go at once to the swineherd who is in charge of your pigs. He has been always well affected towards you, and is devoted to Penelope and your son. You will find him feeding his pigs near the rock that is called Raven by the fountain of Tharusa, where they are fattening on the beech mast and spring water after their manner. Stay with him and find out how things are going, while I proceed to Sparta and see your son, who is with Menelaus and Laomedon, where he has gone to try and find out whether you are still alive. But why? Said Odysseus. Did you not tell him, for you knew all about it? Did you want him to go sailing out about amid all kinds of hardship while others are eating up his estate? He's like, you want my son to go? You want my son to go just to this random king while his mother is left behind and being choked out? Maybe his hair got bleached by the sun. Yeah, it could have been. She is the goddess of war. Yep, pretty much. I mean, makes sense. He's like, why is my son like this? Why did you allow this to do this to him? Oh my god. Yeah, that's the part we didn't read, was the beginning part where Telemachus was just kind of like, I'm trying to find my father if he's still alive. You know what this is kind of reminding me of? I think I mentioned this. Odysseus going to Ithaca and getting rid of... It literally reminds me of Minecraft's Story Mode Season 2, of when Jesse had to go take down the admin, except Ex- except shape-shifting isn't really involved with the suitors. Like, it just gives me that vibe he has to sneak back in, you know? It gives me those vibes. Sorry to keep making connections, but it's just so funny. Athena answered, "Never mind about him. I sent him that he might be well spoken of for having gone. He is in no sort of difficulty, but is staying quite comfortably with Menelaus, and he is surrounded by the abstinence of every kind. The suitors have put out to sea and are lying in wait for him, for they mean to kill him before he can get home." Oh. Oh, haven't you noticed who's missing? Don't you know the prince is not around? I heard today he's on a diplomatic mission, and I heard today he comes back to town, so I say we gather near the beaches. I say we wait until he arrives. Then once he docks his ship we can breach it. Let us... you know the words, you know where I'm going with this. But that's interesting. They kind of... Epic kind of woven in Telemachus a bit in this. They kind of just didn't do much with him in this so far, other than him being the prince and him interacting with the kings of his father, or like asking around if his father's alive. They kind of made him like a warrior, new warrior, because Odysseus is on. But it's really interesting how they did the different, I don't know, the adaptations of stuff like this. Alright. I do not much think they will succeed, but rather that some of those who are now eating up your estate will first find a grave themselves. Ooh. That's a good one. That's a really, oh my god, my voice. That's a really interesting line. As she spoke, Athena touched him with her wand. She has a wand? And covered him with wrinkles and took away all his yellow hair and withered the flesh all over his whole body and she bleared his eyes, which were naturally fine ones. That's a note. And she changed his coat and threw an old rag of wrap around him in a tunic, tattered, filthy, and trimmed with smoke. She also gave him an undressed deerskin as an outer garment, and furnished him with a staff and wallet and all holes in it with a twisted thong for him to sling it over his shoulder. When the pair had thus laid their plans as they parted... Sorry. When the pair had thus laid their plans as they parted, and the goddess went... When the pair had thus laid their plans that they parted, and the goddess went straight to Laodaemon to fetch Telemachus. Oh! So she's going back for him while Odysseus takes care of shit over here. She's like, I'm gonna get your son. Gonna be like a protector. Bye. Odysseus in the hut with Eurymeus. Oh, okay, so we're in book 14. The hut. Where's the hut? I'm curious, what is the hut? Odysseus now left the haven and took the rough track up to the wooded country and over the crest of the mountain until he reached the place where Athena had said if we would find the swineherd, who was the most thrifty servant he had. He found him sitting in front of his hut, which is by the yards he had built on a site which had been seen from afar. He had made them spacious and fair to see, with the free run for all the pigs around them. He had built them during his master's absence, of stones which he had gathered out of the ground without saying anything to Penelope or Latres, and he had fenced them on top with bushes. Outside the yard he had run a strong fence of oaken posts split and set pretty close together, while the inside he had built for 12 sties near one another for the stows to lie in. There were 50 pigs swallowing in each sty, and all of them breeding sows. But the boars slept outside where they're much fewer in number, for the suitors kept on eating them, and the swineherd had to send them the best he had continually. There were 360 boar pigs. There were 360, and the herdsmen 4 hounds, which were fierce as wolves, slept always with them. The swineherd was at the moment cutting out a pair of sandals from a good stout ox hide. 3 of his men were out herding the pigs in one place and another, and he had sent the fourth to town with a boar that he had been forced to send the suitors that they might sacrifice it and have their fill of meat. When the hounds saw Odysseus, they set up a furious barking and flew at him. "Oh no, the dogs!" But Odysseus was cunning enough to sit down and loose his hold of the stick he had in his hand. Still, he would have been torn by them in his own homestead, and had not the swineherd dropped his ox-hide, rushed full speed through the gate of the yard, and driven the dogs off by shouting and throwing stones at them. Then he said to Odysseus, "Old man, the dogs were likely to have made short work of you, and then you would have gotten me into trouble. The gods have given me quite enough worries without that, for I have lost the best of masters, and I am in the continual grief on his account. I have to attend swine for other people to eat, while if he yet lives to see the light of day, is starving in some distant land. But come inside, and when you have your fill of bread and wine, tell me where you're from and all about your misfortunes." Oh my god. He's like really nice to this guy. He's just like, "Come in my house." Like, hospitality. Like, dude, you good, man? Those dogs would have killed you. On this, swineherd led the way to the hunt and bade him sit down. He strewed a good thick bed of rushes upon the floor, and on top of this he threw a shaggy chonimus skin, a great thick one, on which he used to sleep by night. Odysseus was pleased at being made thus welcome, and said, "May Zeus, sir, and the rest of the gods grant you your heart's desire in return for the kind way which you have received me." To this you answered, "O swineherd Eumelus, stranger, though a still poorer man should come here, it will not be right for me to insult him." For all the strangers and beggars are from Zeus. You must take what you can get and be thankful, for servants live in fear when they have young lords for their masters. And this is my misfortune now, for heaven has hindered the return of him who have been always good to me and always given me something of my own. A house, a piece of land, a good-looking wife, and all else that a liberal master allows a servant who has worked hard for him. In those labor the gods who have prospered, they have mine in the situation which I hold. If my master had grown old here, he would have done great things by me, but now he is gone, and I wish that Helen's whole race were utterly destroyed, for she has been the death of many of a good man. It was this matter that took my master Ilius to the land of noble steeds to fight the Trojans in the cause of King Agamemnon. As he spoke, he bound the girl around him and went to the sties where the young sucking pigs were penned. He picked out two he brought back with him and sacrificed. Jesus, he's like, "I'm really depressed," and then you just hear the pigs going like, "Eh!" Like, I mean, people gotta eat, dude. Wanda, maybe there's a stick, yeah. That's what I thought. When Athena was like, "Bibbidi bobbidi boo," like shit. He just finds a stick and being like, "Wow." Insert Harry Potter spell. He singed them, cut them up, and spitted them. When the meat was cooked, he brought it all in and set it before Odysseus, hot and still on the spit, whereon Odysseus sprinkled over it with white barley meal. White bone meal! Okay, sorry. That's so cool. That was the seasoning back then. They just kind of... before ketchup and all that shit. The swineherd then mixed wine in a bowl of ivory wood, taking a seat opposite Odysseus, told him to begin. Oh, interesting. Man, the Greeks really love their fucking wine. Wait, so... Okay, they mixed wine in a bowl. Okay, the bowl's made out of wood. That makes a lot of sense. Humans are crazy. Like, what the hell? Like, can you... Like, isn't it strange how, like, this is really how people lived? It's just... Oh, gosh. Ooh, yeah, Jesse would have been mad with those pigs, man. Man would have been traumatized. The swineherd then mixed the wine in a bowl of ivy wood, and taking a seat opposite Odysseus, told him again. "Fall to, stranger," said he, "on a dish of servant's pork, The fat pigs have to go to the suitors, who eat them up without shame or scrumple, but the blessed gods love not much such shameful doings, but and respect those who do what is lawful and right. Even when the fierce freebooters who go on raiding other people's land, and Zeus gives them their spoil. Even they, when they had filled their ships and got home again, live conscience stricken, and look fearfully for judgment. But some god seems to have told these people that Odysseus is dead and gone. They will not therefore go back to their own homes and make their offers of marriage in the usual way, but waste his estate by force, without fear or stint. Not a day or night comes out of the heaven, but they sacrifice not one victim to. They sacrifice not one victim, nor two only, and they take the run out of his wine, for he was exceedingly rich. No other great man either in Ithaca or in the mainland as rich as he was. He had as much as 20 men put together. I will tell you what he had. There were 12 herds of cattle upon the mainland, and as many flocks of sheep. There was also 12 droves of pigs. And while his own men had hired strangers feed him 12 widely spreading herds of goats. Here in Ithaca he runs even large flocks of goats on the far end of the island, and they are in the charge of the excellent goat herds. Each one of these sends the suitors the best goat in the flock every day. As for myself, I am in charge of the pigs that you see here. I have to keep picking out the best I have and sending it to them. I just love the fact that he straight up said, oh, someone said, like, he's dead and gone. Again, another fucking season 2 of Minecraft Story Mode again. MCSM, like, reference there, because isn't that a choice, too, where you're like, oh, tell me I'm dead. And bone marrow is good, and pigs will actually eat humans. Oh, they can. Oh my god, they can, yeah. That's just crazy. Oh man, just the way of thinking that is just, oof. This was his story. But Odysseus went on eating and drinking ravenously without a word, brooding his revenge. When he had eaten enough and was satisfied, the swineherd took the bowl from which he usually drank and filled it with wine and gave it to Odysseus, who was pleased and said he took in his hands, "My friend, who was this master of yours that brought you and paid for you, so rich and so powerful as you tell me? You say he perished in the cause of King Agamemnon. Tell me who he was, in case I may have met with such a person. Zeus and the other gods know, but I may be able to give you news of him, for I have traveled much." Eurylomelus answered, "Old man, no traveler who comes here with news will get Odysseus' wife and son to believe his story. Nevertheless, tramps in the want of lodging keep coming to their mouths full of lies, and not a word of truth. Everyone who finds his way to Ithaca shows to my mistress and tells her falsehoods, whereon she takes them in and makes much of them, and asks them all manner of questions, crying all the time as women will when have lost their husbands. And you too, old man, for a shirt and cloak would doubtless make up a very pretty story, but the wolves and birds of prey have long since torn Odysseus to pieces, or the fishes of the sea have eaten him, and his bones are lying buried deep in the sand upon some foreign shore. He's dead and gone, and a bad business for all his friends. For me especially, go where I may never shall find so good a master, not even if I were to go home and to my mother and father where I was bred and born." Gee, God, I do not so much care, however, but about my parents now, though I should dearly like to see them again in my own country. It is the loss of Odysseus that grieves me the most. I cannot speak of him without reverence, through he is here no longer, for he is very fond of me, and it took such care of me. Whoever he may be, I shall always honor in his memory. I love, he's like, man, this guy's dead, forget it. You can't convince me otherwise. I've been told already 1,000 times. Literally it is. Oh, the Odyssey is just all of MCSM at this point. It really is. Oh my god. It's great. I love it. I love the story so much. It's just like the Greek version. Oh man. "My friend, replied Odysseus. "You are very positive and very hard of belief about your master's coming home again. Nevertheless, I will not mercifully say, but I will swear that he is coming. Do not give me anything for my news till he has actually come. You may then give me a shirt and cloak of good wear if you will. I am in great want, but I will not take anything at all until then. For I hate a man even as I hate hellfire, who has let his poverties tempt him into lying. I swear by King Zeus, by the rites of hospitality, and by the hearth of Odysseus, to which I have now come, and that all will surely happen as I said it will. Odysseus will return in this self same year, with the end of his moon and the beginning of the next. Odysseus will return in his Sorry, my throat. Odysseus will return in his same year, with the end of this moon and beginning of the next, where he will be there to do vengeance on all those who are ill-treating his wife and son. To this he answered, O swineherd Eumelus, old man, you will neither get paid for bringing good news, nor will Odysseus ever come home. Drink your wine in peace and let us talk about something else. Do not keep on reminding me of all of this. It always pains me when anyone speaks about my honored master. As for your oath, we will let it alone. But I only wish he may come, as do Penelope and his old father Latres and his son Telemachus. I am terribly unhappy too about this same boy of his. He was running up fast to manhood and bade fair to be no worse man, face and figure, than his father. But someone, either God or man, has been unsettling in his mind. So he's gone off to Pylos and tried to get news of his father, and the suitors are lying in wait for him as he's coming home, in hope of leaving the house of Arcinius, something like that, without a name in Ithaca. But let us say no more about him, and leave him to be taken, or else to escape if the son of Saturn. Ooh, who's the Greek translation of Saturn? Hey Siri, what is the Greek translation of Saturn?
The Greek name of the planet Saturn is
Kronos. And leave him to be taken, or else it will escape if the son of Kronos holds his hand over him to protect him. And now, old man, tell me your own story. Tell me also, for I want to know who you are and where you come from. Tell me of your town and your parents, what manner of ship you came in, and how crew brought you to Ithaca, and from what country they professed to come, for you cannot have come by land. And Odysseus answered, I will tell you all about it. If there are meat and wine, though, and we could stay here in the hut, but with nothing to do but eat and drink while the others go and do their work, I could easily talk on for a whole 12 months without ever finishing the story of the sorrows which with has been pleased heaven to visit me. I am by birth a Cretan. My father was a well-to-do man who had brought many sons born in marriage, whereas I was the son of a slave whom he had purchased for a concubine. Nevertheless, my father cast her son of Hylax, whose lineage I claim, and who was held in the highest honor among the Cretans for his wealth, prosperity, and the valor of his sons, put me on the same level with my brothers who had been born in wedlock. When, however, death took him to the house of Hades, and his sons divided his estate and cast lots for their shares, but to me they gave me a holding and little else. Nevertheless, my valor enabled me to marry to a rich family, for I was not given to bragging or shirking on the field of battle. It is all over now still, and if you look at the straw, you can see what the ear was, for I had enough trouble enough to spare. Ares and Athena made it very doubtfully in war. When I had picked my men to surprise the enemy with an ambuscade, I never gave death so much as a thought, but it was the first step to lead toward and spear all whom I could overtake. Such was I in battle, but I did not care about farm work, nor the frugal home life of those who would bring up children. My delight was in ships, fighting, javelins, and arrows, things that most men could shudder to think of, but one man likes one thing and another, and this was what I was most naturally inclined to. Before the Achaeans went to Troy, 9 times I was in the command of men and ships on foreign service, and I amassed with much wealth. I had my pick of the spoil in the first instance, and much more was allotted to me later on. My house grew apace and I became a great man among the Cretans, but when Zeus counseled a terrible expedition in which so many perished, the people required me and Idomeneus lead to their ships to Troy. There was no way out of it, for they insisted for our doing so. There we fought for whole 9 years, but then in the 10th we sacked the city of Priam and sailed home again, and as heaven dispersed us. That is when Zeus devised evil against me. I spent but one only month happily with my children, wife, and property. Then I conceived the idea of making a descent on Egypt, so I fitted out a fine fleet and manned it. I had 9 ships, and the people flocked to fill them. For 6 days I and my men made fast and found them many victims, both for sacrifice and the gods and for themselves. But on the 7th day we went on board and set sail from Crete to a fair north wind behind us, though as if we were going down a river. Nothing went ill with any of our ships, and we had no sickness on board, but sat where we were and let the ships go as the wind and the steersman took them. On the 5th day we reached the river Aegiaclibius, and I stationed my ships in the river, binding my men to stay by them and keep guard over them while I sent out scouts to reconnoiter from every point of the vantage. But the men disobeyed my orders, and took to their own devices and ravaged the land of the Egyptians, killing the men and taking their wives and children captive. Jesus! The alarm was soon carried out to the city, and then when they heard the war cry, the people came out at daybreak till the plain was filled with horsemen and foot soldiers with the gleam of armor. Then Zeus spread panic among my men, and when they would no longer face the enemy, for they found themselves surrounded. The Egyptians killed many of us and took the rest alive to do forced labor for them. Good lord. Is this all made up, or he's like, that's crazy, what the shit? Zeus, however, put it in my mind to do thus, and I wish I had died then and there in Egypt instead, for there was much sorrow in store for me, and I took off my helmet and shield and dropped my spear from my hand. Then I went straight up to the king's chariot, clasped his knees, and kissed the... again, sign of respect probably back then. Whereon he spared my life, bade me to get to his chariot, and took me weeping into his own home. Many made at me with their ashen spears and tried to kill me in their fury, but the king protected me, for he feared the wrath of Zeus and protector of strangers who punish those who do evil. I stayed there for 7 years and got together with much money among the Egyptians, for all they gave me something, but when it was now going on for 8 years, there came a certain Phoenician, a cunning rascal who had already committed all sorts of villainy, and this man had talked me over to going over with him to Phoenicia, where his house's possessions lay. I stayed there for a whole 12 months, but at the end of time, when months and days have gone till by the same reason had come around again, sent me aboard a ship bound for Libya, on a pretense that I was going to take a cargo along with him to that place, but really that he might sell me as a slave and take the money I fetched. I suspected his intention, but went on board with him, for I could not help it. The ship ran before a fresh north wind till we had reached the sea that lies between Crete and Libya. Libya? Sorry, not Libya. Libya. However, Zeus counseled their destruction, for as soon as they were well out from Crete and could see nothing but sea and sky. Whoa! Something fell. He raised a black cloud over our ship, and the sea grew dark beneath it. Then Zeus let fly with his thunderbolts, and the ship went around and was filled with fire and brimstone as the lightning struck it. The men then fell onto the sea. They were carried about in the water around the ship, looking like so many seagulls, but the god presently deprived them all of chance of getting home again. I was dismayed. Zeus, however, sent the ship mast within my reach and then saved my life. I clung to it and drifted before the fury of the gale. 9 days I did drift, but in the darkness of the 10th night, a great wave bore me onto the Thesprotian coast. There King Poseidon, king of the Theoprosians and entertained me with hospitably without charging me anything at all. For his son found me when I was nearly dead with cold and fatigue, whereon he raised me by the hand, took me to his father's house, and gave me clothes to wear. There is when I heard the news of Odysseus, for the king told me that he had entertained him and shown him much hospitality while he was on his homeward journey. He showed me also where the treasure of gold, wrought iron that Odysseus had got together. There was enough to keep his family for 10 generations. So much had he left the house of King Phaedon. But the king said Odysseus had gone to Dodona, that he might learn Zeus's mind from the god's high oak tree, and know whether, after so long an absence, he should return to Ithaca openly, or in secret. Moreover, the king swore in my presence, making drink offerings in his own house as he did so, and that that the ship was by the waterside, and the crew found, and that should take him to his own country. He sent me off, however, before Odysseus returned, for there happened to be a Theoprosian ship sailing for the wheat-growing island of Dulichium, and as he told in charge of her to be sure to take me to safety to King Achatus, something like that. I don't know. These men hatched a plots against me that it would have reduced me to the very extreme of misery. For when the ship had got some way out from land, they resolved on selling me as a slave. They stripped me of the shirt and cloak I was wearing, and gave me instead the tattered old clouts in which you now see me. Then towards nightfall they reached the chilled lands of Ithaca, and they bound me with a strong rope that fastened the ship. But then, while they went on shore, they get supper by the seaside. But the gods soon undid my bonds for me, and having drawn my rags over my head and slid down the water into the sea, where I struck out and swam until I well was clear of them, then came ashore near a thick wood in which I lay concealed. They were very angry at my having escaped, and went searching about for me until at last they thought it was no further use, and went back to their ship. The gods having hidden me thus easily, then took me to a good man's door. For it seems that I am not to die yet a while. To this you answered, O swineherd Eumelus, poor unhappy stranger, I found the story of your misfortunes extremely interesting, but that part about Odysseus is not right, and you will never get me to believe it. Why should a man like you go about telling lies in this way? All I know about the return of my master, the gods, the gods won, and all of them just test him, and they would have taken him before Troy, let him die with friends around him when the days of his fighting were done. For then the Achaeans could have built a mound over his ashes, and his son would have been heir to his renown. But now the storm winds have spirited him away. We not know whether. As for me, I live out of the way with the pigs, and never gone to town unless Penelope sends for me on the arrival of some news about Odysseus. Then they all sit around and ask questions, for both those who grieve over the king's absence and those who rejoice it because they can eat up his property without paying for it. For my own part, I had never cared about asking anyone else since the time when I was taken in by the Attilian, who had killed a man and come a long way at last until he reached my station. Who had killed a man and come a long way till at last he reached my station, and I was very kind to him. He said that he's seen Odysseus with Idomeneus among the Creatans, refitting his ships who have been damaged in a gale. He said that Odysseus would return in the following summer or autumn with his men, and that he would bring back so much wealth. And now you unfortunate old man, since fate has brought me to my door, do not try to flatter me in this way with vain hopes. It is not for any such reason that I shall treat you kindly, but only out of respect for Zeus and the love of hospitality, and fearing him and pitying you. Odysseus answered, I see that you are of an unbelieving mind. I have given you my oath, and yet you will not credit me. Let us then make a bargain, and call the gods in heaven to witness it. If your master does come home, give me a cloak and shirt of good wear, and send me to the Jerusalem where I want to go. But if he does not come, I say he will, set your men on to me, and tell them to throw me from your yonder precipice as a warning to tramps not to go about the country telling lies. And a pretty figure I should cut then, replied Eumenicus. There, before both now and thereafter, if I were to kill you after receiving you into my hut and showing you hospitality, I should have to say my prayers in good earnest if I did. But it isn't just supper time, and I hope my men will come in directly, that we may cook something savory for our supper. Thus they did converse, and presently swineherds came up with the pigs, which were then shut up for the night in their style. Like, shut up in there! And a tremendous squealing they made as they were being driven into them. But Eumaeus called to his men and said, "Bring in the best pig you have, that I may sacrifice him for the stranger, and we take toll of him ourselves. We had enough trouble this long time feeding pigs, while others reap in the fruit of our labor." That's great. That's... On this he began chopping firewood, while the others brought that fine, fat, 5-year-old boar pig and set at the altar. Eumaeus did not forget the gods, for he was a man of good principles. So the first thing he did was to cut bristles from the pig's face and throw it into the fire, praying to all the gods as he did so, that Odysseus might return home again. Then he clubbed the pig with a billet of oak, which he kept back when he was chopping the firewood, and stunned it while the others slaughtered and singed it. And they cut it up, and Eumaeus began by putting raw pieces into each joint under some of the fat, and he sprinkled with barley meal, and laid upon the embers, and they cut the rest of the meat up small, and put the pieces upon the spits, and roasted them until they were done. When they had taken off the spits, they threw them onto the dresser in a heap. The swineherd, who was almost an equitable man, then stood up and gave every one to his share. He made 7 portions. One of these he set apart for Mercury. Oh, that's Hermes. Set apart for Hermes, the son of Maya. It's Maia. And the nymphs praying to them as he did so. The others, oh gosh. And the nymphs praying to them as he did so. The others he dealt out to the men man by man. He gave Odysseus some slices cut lengthways down the loin of the mark of the special honor, and Odysseus was much pleased. "I hope, Eumeneus," he said, that Zeus would be as well disposed towards you as I am, for the respect you are showing to an outcast like myself." To this you answered, "O swineherd Eumeneus, eat, my good fellow, enjoy your supper, such as it is. God grants this and withholds that, just as he thinks right, for he can do whatever he chooses." As he spoke, he cut off the first piece and offered it as a burnt sacrifice to the immortal gods. Then he made him a drink offering and put the cup in the hands of Odysseus and sat down to his own portion. Menestilius brought them their bread, and the swineherd had brought this man upon his own account from the Taphians during his master's absence, and had paid him with his own money, without saying anything either to the mistress or Latres. Then they laid their hands upon the good things that were before them, and when they had enough to eat and drink, Menelaus, not Menelaus, not that other Menelaus, but this is other spelling or name, took away what was left of the bread, and they all went to bed after having a hearty supper. Now the night came on a stormy and very dark, for there was no moon. It poured without ceasing, and the wind blew strong from the west, which is a wet quarter. So Odysseus thought he could see whether Eumenius, in the excitement, the excellent care he took care of him, he would take off his own cloak and give it to him, or make one of his men give him one. Oh man, it's so cold. My poor dude. My poor boy. Listen to me, said he. Eumenius and the rest of you, when I have said a prayer, and I will tell you something, it is the wine that makes me talk in this way. Oh no, is he drunk? Wine will make even a wise man follow the singing, that will make him chuckle and dance and say many a word that he had better leave unspoken. Yeah, literally, he's like, I'd rather not say something that I might regret later. Still, as I've begun, I will go on. Would that I were still young and strong when we got up in the inn beside before Troy. Menelaus and Odysseus were the leaders, but I was in command also. For the other two would have it so. When we had come up to the wall of the city, we crouched down beneath our armor and lay there under cover of the reeds and thick brushwood and grew about the swamp. It came on to freeze with a north wind blowing. The snow fell small and fine like hoar frost, and our shields were coated thick with rime. The others had all got cloaks and shirts and slept comfortably enough with their shields above their shoulders, but I carelessly left my cloak behind me, not thinking that I should be too cold, and had gone off but nothing but my shirt and shield. When the night was 2/3 through and the stars had shifted their places, oh yeah, that's right, that's how they told time, was the stars. Like, oh, they're here now. Like, that's crazy. I nudged Odysseus, who was close to me, with my elbow, and he at once gave me his ear. Odysseus, said I, this cold may be the death of me, for I had no cloak. Some god fooled me into setting off with nothing but my shirt, though I do not know what to do. Odysseus, who was crafty as he was valiant, hit upon the following plan. Keep still, he said in a low voice, or the others will hear you. And he raised his head on his elbow. He's like, shut up. I'm trying to sleep, dude. My friend, said he, I've had a dream from heaven in my sleep. We're a long way from the ships. I wish someone would go down and tell Agamemnon to send us up more men at once. On this, Thoas, son of Andromedon, threw off his cloak and set out running to the ships, whereon I took the cloak and lay it on comfortably till morning. Would that I were still young and strong in those days, for then someone of you swineherds would give me a cloak, both out of good and will for respect due to the brave soldier. But now, people look down upon me because my clothes are shabby. And Eumenius said, Old man, you have told us quite an excellent story, and have said nothing so far but what is quite satisfactory. For the present, therefore, you shall want neither clothing nor anything else that a stranger in distress may reasonably expect. But tomorrow morning, you have to shake your own old rags about your body again, for we not have many spare cloaks, so no shirts up here. But every man has only one. When Odysseus' son comes home again, he will give you both cloak and shirt, and will send you wherever you may want to go. With this, he got up and made a bed for Odysseus by throwing some goat skins and sheep skins on the ground in front of the fire. There Odysseus lay down, and Eumenius covered him with over a great heavy cloak that kept to change him in case of extraordinary bad weather. Oh, that's so sweet. Thus did Odysseus sleep, and the young men slept beside him. But the swineherd did not like sleeping away from his pigs, so he got ready to go outside, and Odysseus was glad to see that he looked after his property during his master's absence. Oh, he must be so proud of this guy. He's like, he's still doing what... First he slung into his sword over his brawny shoulders and put on a thick cloak to keep him out the wind. He also took a skin of a large and well-fed goat and a javelin in a case of attack from men or dogs. Thus equipped, he went to his rest where the pigs were camping under an overhanging rock that gave him shelter from the north wind. Oh. Damn, that was a lot. How about another one? Let's take a water break first, actually. Let's check in with... We're not home yet, boys, but we're gonna talk with our old little guy, slave. We're at book 16, I believe. So, let's see what... So where should we stop at? Given that's an hour and 40 minutes right now. Alright. We're not exactly there yet, but, hang on, I'm not checking my iPad, so I was reading for a while. I didn't get to see what people were saying. Oh, Sophie's here! Oh my gosh! So it's nice to see you guys. Yeah, I need water. I see this person needs water. Oh wait, no, I skipped the... Whoops. I went a bit back too far. 3? Okay, wait, no, we're not. We're on 15, I think. Yeah, we're currently on. And we got 15. I think it's up to 24 in total. So we got about less than 10 at least. So let's talk about stuff, I guess. Keep us busy. I hope everyone's going well or doing well. I hope. I'll just get water. I should stop this then, since we're not reading, but... I mean, we only read, like, 2 books. Really. We didn't really get far. So... we can, like, read a couple more, at least. Oh, cool. You got a new phone. Awesome. What kind of phone did you get? Oh, it's just stretching. Oh, goodness. Good old big old stretch. Samsung Galaxy. Oh, really nice. And I heard they've been getting better. Samsung is nice, I heard. But I have Apple. Not to brag or anything, but that's currently what I have. I upgraded to a 17 from a 14 not long ago. It was like back in December. As for me, I got a new laptop. As I mentioned before, because not a lot of people were here, but I did say at one point that this is probably my last video I'm recording on my Dell computer because I ordered a new laptop and it's Lenovo laptop, which has I heard it was really good, a really good brand actually. Considering I know Magby heard this, but Soph probably didn't, so I'm explaining that I I had this Dell computer that I'm currently recording right now for like 5 years at this point. I had it since like 2021, but it was manufactured in 2020, but yeah, I had it for about 5 years, and that's typically the lifespan of one. 7 if you really push it, but it was about time because I had to I already upgraded my phone, I already upgraded my iPad. I was like, you know what? I'm going to upgrade my laptop as well. I'm gonna make sure that. Oh no! Whoops! I completely went to a different video. My bad. But yeah, it was about time. Yeah, Lenovo's are cool. I know it's so weird switching to a different like gosh, like a different shoot, now I'm blanking. A different computer because you are living with what you got right now, and it's like really like and then you're switching to a different like model and brand. But Lenovo is surprisingly like I wasn't looking for like something expensive, like something that's in the range. So my laptop right now has like a terabyte of storage on it, but with the Lenovo I got 2, and has quite better brand. It's basically updated graphics card and CPU card, all the special stuff, like all this modern stuff they have now. And by this point, the Dell is kind of like a time capsule. Like, this was a decent, like the one I'm having now, this was like a decent computer when the pandemic was going on. That's to kind of give it perspective. And it's roughly the same size as my Dell, which is great. 15-inch one. And I was hoping that I would still have my USB ports and all that, and HDMI cable, and it's great. I do like Dell though. They do have good like sturdiness too. I think they're known for that as well, but I've heard Lenovo has been having a really good what do you say it, like in terms of affordability. I got it off of Best Buy. Best Buy is pretty good for that stuff. Let me see the exact listing, because there's specs to this. So specifically, this is meant to get here in a few days. It's meant to get here, gosh, what day? The 21st, which is, next week on Tuesday. Oh, that means I gotta get my, that means I gotta, transfer all my data from this computer to that one, which, takes a hot minute, but if you know what you're transferring and stuff, like, it's pretty easy. To be specific on the specs I've got, it's a black one, it's a black laptop. It has a backlit keyboard, which is great. I always love the customization of those. It has 32 gigabytes of RAM, which compared to this one, which I have right now, I think is 16. This has Intel i9, which is like the current generation, even though that's not the current CPU generation. But it's a little older, but like it's more affordable. Like it's like another $1,000 if you get like the Intel 9 Ultra. I'm like, you know what? No, I don't need all that. Like $1,000 difference between CPUs. I mean, nah, I'd rather not. So yeah, this has 2 terabytes. Don't do. I've been told SSD is the best to go. That's the drive that goes in with the computer. I've been that by my brother told me that like it's the best one instead of HDD, which is hard drive. Hard drive, and SSD I think is like, I don't know, I guess faster or something. Yeah, it is because okay, let me look at this. I know this is like an Odyssey stream, but I really want to. I really want to show the difference. So it's really cool. My poor background. It's starting to like my background's black now because I removed the image that I had as my background. System. Let me go to about. It's down here. Yeah, the specifications of this. So this is the current CPU I have in this thing is the i7, and I just said i9, so this is technically upgrade to like a modern generation. Yeah, the RAM is 16 gigabytes, and the next laptop I'm getting has 32, so that's crazy. Graphics cards, 8 gigabytes. Storage is about 954 gigabytes, so roughly a terabyte. Graphics card is NVIDIA, which is the GeForce, which is a really good graphics card, I've heard. And the one I have now, instead of RTX 270, it's 5070, which is, I think, one of the modern graphics card too, like one of the current ones. This computer also came with a dock set, which also has an extra terabyte on it for like storing things, I think it's an external drive. I don't know if that's what it is. I have to see what it looks like, but I like how it also you can put in. It looks like you can also do. Oh, it's like a connect. Okay, it's like a transfer kind of thing. I gotta research into that, what that is. I don't have a picture of my new laptop yet, but I know it's coming. It's coming in. If I ever get another opening of like reading the Odyssey, or like a different thing, I could talk about my laptop. But yeah, it's definitely it's quite the upgrade. By a whole lot, and for like I know it's expensive. It's like freaking. This shit was like $2,000. But my mom's like, you know what? You've been through school. You deserve it. Like, she's really nice about that. She's like, you know what? It's a graduation present. And plus, besides, it's like, you know, I gotta upgrade at some point. Now, the next thing to figure out is I have to, like, see where to put my old one. Usually, I get sentimental about my old devices, and I just kind of put them in, like, I don't know. I guess, like, to the side. But again, like I said, yeah, so, yeah, that's a lot, but compared to, like, a GPU change, like a CPU change, like a different Intel core, it would have been $1,000 more, so I'm just like, yeah, I'll get this one with the i9 in it, the normal i9. I know computers were expensive, but I was not expecting that. Yeah, I know. It depends on what you want. The more expensive they are. Usually, like, if you want, you know, one that doesn't have a lot of like, gigabytes on it. But they do last a while. So, I give credit for that. Wait, so... Yeah, but it's really good for game. You can have 4 terabytes on this thing? What? Okay, that's insane. But it's like almost $3,000 if you do the same, like, 2 terabytes is enough, dude. Like, you can live with that. Like that's a little bit more extra than, 1 terabyte given what I'm doing. So I'm not like that insane about gaming or something. All right. Let me take another swig of water. How about we read one more, folks? Get to 15 or something, and get to read one more. It's like that Stranger Things scene. Come on, just one more. Mom! You're so handsome, my. Oh my god, it's so great. Alright. Let's continue on with book 15. So Athena. Oh, I forgot to put the thing on. Whoops. Athena, had us in the arena. If you know what I'm... Alright, let me, get the cool visual. Alright. We got it. Now I got my... Athena summons Telemachus from Laomedon. He meets with Theoclymus at Pylos and brings him to Ithaca. On landing, he goes to the hut. Okay. So he's bringing more people, literally what he said he was going to do. But Athena went to the fair city of Laomedon to tell Odysseus' son that he has to return at once. She had found him at Pistricius sleeping on the forecourt of Menelaus' house, and Pisistratus was fast asleep, but Telemachus could get no rest at all night, thinking of his unhappy father. So Athena went up close to him and said, Telemachus, you should not remain so far away from home any longer, nor leave your property with such dangerous people in your house. They will eat up everything you have among them, and you will have been on a fool's errand. Ask Menelaus to send you home at once if you wish to find your excellent mother still there when you get back. Her father and brothers are already urging her to marry Eurymachus, who has given her more than the others, and has been greatly increasing his wedding presents. I hope nothing valuable... They're trying to all impress her. I hope nothing valuable you may have been taken from the house in spite of you, but you know what women are. They always want to do the best they can for the man who marries them, and never give another thought to the children of their first husband, nor to their father either when he is dead and done with. Jeez. At least she's honest. Go home, therefore, and put everything in charge of the most respectable women servant that you have until it shall please heaven to send you a wife of your own. Let me tell you also of another matter which you had better attend to. The chief among the suitors are lying in wait for you at the strait between Ithaca and Samos, and they mean to kill you before you can reach home. I do not much think they will succeed. It is more likely that some of those who are eating up your property will find a grave themselves. Sail night and day and keep your ship well away from the islands, and the God who watches over you and protects you will send you a fair wind. As soon as you will get to Ithaca, send your ship and men onto the town, but yourself go straight to the swineherd who has charge of your pigs. He is well disposed towards you. Stay with him, therefore, for the night, and send him to Penelope and tell her that you have got back safe from Pylos. Then she went back to Olympias, but Telemachus stirred Pisistratus with his heel to rouse him and said, Wake up, Pisistratus, and yoke the horses to the chariot, for we must set off home. But Pisistratus said, No matter what hurry we are in, we cannot drive in the dark. It will be morning soon. Wait until Menelaus has brought his presents and put them in a chariot for us, and let him say goodbye to us in the usual way. So long as he lives lives a guest should never forget a host who has shown him kindness. As he spoke, day again began to break, and Menelaus, who had already risen, leaving Helen in bed, came towards them. When Telemachus saw him, he put on his shirt as fast as he could, with a great cloak over his shoulders, and went out to meet him. Menelaus, said he, let me go back now to my own country, for I want to get home. And Menelaus answered, Telemachus, if you insist on going, I will not detain you. I do not like see a host either too fond of his guest or too rude to him. Moderation is best in all things, and not letting a man go when he wants to is as bad as telling him to go if he'd like to stay. One should treat a guest well as long as he is in the house, and speed him wherever he wants to leave it. Wait then till I get your beautiful presents to your chariot, until you have yourself seen them. I will tell the women to prepare a sufficient dinner for you for what there might be in the house. It will be at once more proper and cheaper for you to get your dinner before setting out on such a long journey. If, moreover, if you have a fancy or making a tour in Hellas or in the Peloponnese, hey, that's where my descendants came from. I will yoke my horses and will conduct you myself through our principal cities. No one will send us away empty-handed, and everyone will give us something. A bronze tripod, a couple of mules, or a gold cup. Menelaus, replied Telemachus, I want to go home at once, for when I came away I left my property without protection, and fear that while looking for my father I shall come to ruin myself, or find that something valuable has been stolen during my absence. When Menelaus heard this, he immediately told his wife and servants to prepare a sufficient dinner from what there might be in the house. Isn't it morning? At this moment, Antonius joined him. He lived close by and just got up, and so Menelaus told him to light the fire and cook some meat, which at once he did. Then Menelaus went down to his fragrant storeroom, and not alone, but Helen went too, with Megapenethys. When he reached the place where the treasures of his house were kept, he settled a double cup and told his son Megapenethys to bring also a silver mixing bowl. Meanwhile, Helen went to the chest where she kept the lovely dresses in which she had made with her own hands, and took out one was the largest and most beautifully enriched with embroidery. It glittered like a star and lay at the very bottom of the chest. Then they all came back through the house again until they got to Telemachus, and Menelaus said, Telemachus, may Zeus, the mighty husband of Juno... Which is Juno? Hey Siri, what's the Greek translation for Juno?
I can't translate into Greek.
You just did it. Okay, fine, sorry. Jeez. I thought you did it earlier. Husband of Juno, bring you safely home according to your desire. I will now present you with the finest and most precious piece of plate in all my house. It is a mixing bowl of pure silver except the rim, which is inlaid with gold in the work of Vulcan. I think that's Hephaestus. Hephaestus is Vulcan in this story. Phidanius, king of the Sidonians, had made me a present of it in the course of a visit that I had paid him while I was on my return home. Hera. Okay, Hera is... okay. I think... sorry, this is the Roman version of the Odyssey. It's right. Hera is... I gotta remember that. King of this... while I was on return home, I should like to give it to you. With these words, he placed the double cup in the hands of Telemachus, while Megaphilines brought the beautiful mixing bowl and set it before him. Hard by stood lovely Helen with the robe ready in her hand. I too, my son, said she, have something for you as a keepsake from the hand of Helen. It is for your bride to wear upon her wedding day. Till then, get your dear mother to keep it for you. Thus may you go back to rejoicing to your own country and to your home. So saying, she gave the robe over to him, and he received it gladly. Then Pastratus, I think that's the name, then put the presents into the chariot and admired them all as he did so. Presently, Menelaus took Telemachus Pristarchus to the house, and both of them sat down to table. A maidservant brought them water in a beautiful golden ewer, and ewer? Yeah, I think so. I think that's that word again. And poured into a silver basin for them to wash their hands. And she drew a clean table beside them, and an upper servant brought them bread and offered them many good things of what there was in the house. Antonius, not Antonius, that's the other guy. Adonius carved the meat and gave them to each their portions, while Megasthenes poured out the wine. They then laid their hands upon the good things that were before them, but as soon as they had enough eat and drink, Telemachus and Patricius yoked the horses and took their places in the chariot. They drove out through the inner gateway and under the wing of the gatehouse of the outer court. And Menelaus came in after them with a golden goblet of wine in his right hand, and they might make a drink offering before they set out. He stood in front of the horses and pledged them, saying, "Farewell to the both of you. See then." Farewell to the both of you. See that you tell Nestor that I have treated you, for he was kind to me as any father would be while we Achaeans were fighting before Troy. We will be sure, sir," answered Telemachus, "and to tell him everything as soon as we see him. I wish I were certain of finding Odysseus returned when I get back to Ithaca, that I might tell him of the very great kindness you have shown me and the many of the beautiful presents I am taking with me." And as he was thus speaking, a bird flew on his right hand, an eagle with a great white goose in his talons, which it had carried off from the farmyard, and all the men and women were running after it and shouting. It came quite close up to them, flew away on their right hands in front of the horses. When they saw it, they were glad, and their hearts took comfort with them, whereon Patricius said, "Tell me, Menelaus, has heaven set this omen for us or for you?" Menelaus was thinking of what could be the most proper answer for him to make, but Helen was too quick for him and said, "I'll read this matter as heaven has put in my heart, as I doubt not it will come to pass." An eagle had come down from the mountain where his bread has its nest, in like manner Odysseus, after having traveled far and suffered much, he will return to take his revenge, if indeed he's not back already and hatching in mischief for the suitors. "May Zeus so grant it," replied Telemachus. "If it should prove to be so, I will make vows to you as though you were a god, even though when I'm at home." He spoke as he lashed his horses, and they started off at full speed through the town towards the open country. They swayed the yoke upon their necks and traveled the whole day till the sunset, and the darkness was all over the land. They then reached the Pherae where Dosicles lived, who was the son of Ortilochus, the son of Alpheus. They were not Alphys, but Alpheus. They passed the night where they were treated hospitably. When the child of morning, rosy-fingered dawn appeared, they again yoked the horses in their places in the chariot. They drove out to the inner gateway and under the echoing gatehouse of the outer court. Then Patricius lashed his horses on, and then they flew forward, nothing loath. Ere long they came to Pylos, and then Telemachus said, "Pisistratus, I hope you I think that's what his name is. It's just a weird fucking name. I hope you will promise to do what I'm going to ask you. You know our fathers were old friends before us. Moreover, we are both of an age, and this journey has brought us together still more closely. Do not, therefore, take me past my ship, but leave me here. For if I will go to your father's house, and you will try to keep me in the warmth of his good will towards me, and I must go home at once." Pisistratus thought how he should do as he was asked, and in the end deemed it was best to turn his horses toward the ship and put Menelaus' beautiful presents of gold and raiment in the stern of the vessel. Then he said, "Go on board at once and tell your men to do so also before I could reach home and tell my father. I know how obstinate he is, and I'm sure he will not let you go. He will come down and come here to fetch you, and he will not go back without you. But he will be very angry." And with this he drove his goodly steeds back to the city of the Phoenicians and soon reached his home. But Telemachus called the men together and gave his orders. "Now, my men," said he, "get everything in order aboard the ship and let us set out home. Thus he did speak, and he went on board even as he had said. But as Telemachus was thus busied, praying also and sacrificing to Athena in the ship's stern, and there came to him a man from a distant country, a seer who was flying from Argos because he had killed a man. He descended from Meloponus, who used to live in Pylos in the land of sheep. He was rich and owned a great horse, but he was driven to exile by the great and powerful king Neleus. Neleus seized his goods and held them for a whole year, during which he was a close prisoner in the house of King Phylacus, in much of distress of mind, both on account of the daughter of Neleus, because he was haunted by great sorrow and dread Erinyes had laid upon him. In the end, however, he escaped with his life, drove the cattle from Pylos to Pylos, avenged the wrong that had been done him, and gave the daughter of Neleus to his brother. He then left the country and went to Argos, where it is ordained that he should reign over much people. There he married, established himself, and had two famous sons, Antiphates and Mentius. Antiphates became father of Oecleus, and Oecleus of Amphiaraus, who was dearly loved both by Zeus and by Apollo. Ooh, Apollo mentioned, but he did not live to old age, for he was killed in Thebes by a reason of a woman's gifts. His sons were Clemenmon and Amphilomachus. Mentius, the son of Menelaus, was father to Polythetes and I'm butchering these words. Cleartius, Aurora, Thorned and Gold, Carrioff, Clytius. This is fucking bad. Let me look this up. These are really interesting names. How did they even? Let's see what.
Pronouncenames.com.
Shut up.
Kletos.
Kalitos. I guess. I guess. Kalitos. For his beauty's sake, he might dwell among the immortals, but Apollo made Polyphetes the greatest seer in the whole world now that Amphiaraus was dead. He quarreled with his father and went on to live in Hypersia, where he remained and prophesied for all men. His son, Theoclymenus, now came up to Telemachus as he was making drink offerings and praying in his ship. Friend, said he, now that I find you sacrificing in this place, I beheath you by your sacrifices themselves and by the God whom you make them. I pray that you also, by your own head and by those of your followers, tell me the truth and nothing but the truth. Oh, dang. Modern day, judicial much? Who and whence are you? Tell me of your town and parents. Telemachus said, I will answer you quite truly. I am from Ithaca. My father is Odysseus, and as surely as he ever lived. But he has come to some miserable end. Therefore I have taken this ship, and got my crew together to see if I can have any news of him, for he has been away a long time. I too, answered Theoclymenus, am in exile, for I have killed a man of my own race. He has many brothers and kingsmen in Argos, and they have great power among the Argives. I am flying to escape death at their hands, and I am thus doomed to be a wanderer in the face of the earth. I am your supplement. Take me, therefore, on aboard your ship, that they may not kill me, for I know they are in pursuit. I will not refuse you, replied Telemachus, if you wish to join us. Come, therefore, in Ithaca, we will treat you hospitably according to what we have. On this received Theoclymenus spear and laid it down on the deck of the ship. He then went on board and sat in the stern, bidding Theoclymenus sit behind him, and the men let go the hawsers. Telemachus told them to catch hold of the ropes, and they made all haste to do so. They set the mace in his socket in the cross plank and raised it They made it fast with the forestays, and they holstered their white sails with sheets of twisted oxhide. Not Minerva. Athena sent them a fair wind that blew fresh and strong to take the ship on her course as fast as possible. Thus then they passed by Clone and Chalicis. Presently the sun set and the darkness was all over the land. Oh no, darkness again. Presently the sun's, The vessel made a quick passage to Athene and hence on to Elias, where the Epeans rule. Telemachus then headed her for the flying islands, wondering within himself whether he should escape death or should have taken prisoner. Meanwhile, Odysseus and the swineherd were eating their supper in the hut, and then the men supped with them. As soon as they had to eat and drink, Odysseus began trying to prove the swineherd and see whether he could continue to treat him kindly and ask him to stay at the station or pack him off to the city. So he said, Eurymeus, and all of you, tomorrow I want to go away and begin begging about the town, so as to be no more trouble to you or to your men. Give me your advice, therefore, and let me have a good guide to go with me and show me the way. Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been sailing for 20 years. I will go around the city, begging as I needs must, see if anyone will give me a drink and a piece of bread. I should also like to go to the house of Odysseus and bring news of her husband to Queen Penelope. I then go about them among the suitors and see out if all of their abundance they will give me a dinner. I should soon make them an excellent servant in all sorts of ways. Listen and believe when I tell you that by the blessing of Hermes, who gives grace and good to the name and works of all men, there is no one living who would make a more handy servant than I should. To put fresh wood on the fire, chop fuel, carve pork, pour out wine, cook, not pork, pour out wine, and all those services that good men do for their betters. The swineherd was very much disturbed when he heard this. Heaven help me, he exclaimed. Whatever can have put such a notion as that into your head? If you go near the suitors, you will be undone to a certainty, for their pride and insolence reaches the very heavens. They would never think of such taking a man like you as for a servant. Their servants are all young men, well-dressed, good-looking cloaks and shirts, with well-looking faces, and their hair always tidy. The tables are always quite clean and loaded with bread, meat, and wine. Stay where you are, then you are not in anybody's way. I do not mind you being here. No more do any of the others. When Telemachus comes home, he will give you a shirt and cloak and send you wherever you want to go. Odysseus answered, I hope that you may be clear to the gods as you are to me, having saved me from going about and getting into trouble. There is nothing worse than being always on the tramp. Still, when men have once got low down on the world, they will go through a great deal on the behalf of their miserable bellies. Damn, Odie, Jesus. Since you press me to stay here and wait for the return of Telemachus, tell me about Odysseus' mother and his father, whom he left on the threshold of old age when he set out for Troy. Are they still living, or are they already dead in the house of Hades? I will tell you all about them, replied Eumeneus. Latres is still living and prays heaven to let him depart peacefully on his own house, for he's terribly distressed about the absence of his son and also the death of his wife, who grieved him greatly and aged him more than anything else did. She came to an unhappy end through sorrow for her son. May no friend or neighbor who has dealt kindly by me come to such an end as she did. As long as she was still living, though she was always grieving, I used to like seeing her and asking how she did, for she brought me up along with her daughter Sitimine, the youngest of her children. We were boy and girl together, and she made a little difference between us. When, however, we both grew up, they sent Sitimine the same sum and received a splendid dowry for her. As for me, my mistress gave me a good shirt and cloak with a pair of sandals for my feet and sent me off to the country. But she was just as fond of me as ever. This is all over now. Still it has pleased heaven and prosper my work in the situation where I now hold. I have enough to eat and drink, and I can find something for any respectable stranger who comes here. But there is no getting a kind word or deed out of my mistress, for the house has fallen into the hands of the fallen into the hands of wicked people. Servants want sometimes to see your mistress have a talk with her. They like having something to eat and drink at the house, and something too would take back with them to the country. This is what will keep servants in good humor. Odysseus answered, Then you must have been a very little fellow, Eurymalus, when you were taken so far away from your home and parents. Tell me true, what was the city in which your father and mother lived and sacked and pillaged, or did some enemies carry you off when you were alone tending sheep or cattle? Ship you off here and sell you for whatever your master gave them. Stranger, said Eurymalus, as regards your question, sit still and make yourself comfortable. Drink your wine and listen to me. The nights are now at their longest. There is plenty of time both for sleeping and sitting up, talking together, not talking. Yeah, I'm gonna read up to. I'm almost done. There's only like a few pages left. The nights are now at their longest. There's plenty of time both for sleeping and sitting up, talking together. You ought not to go to bed until bedtime. Too much sleep is as bad as too little. If anyone more of the others wishes to go to bed, let him leave us and do so. He can take my master's pigs when he has done breakfast in the morning. We two sit here eating and drinking in the hut and telling one another stories about our misfortunes, for when a man has suffered much and has been buffeted about in the world, he takes pleasure in recalling the memory of sorrows that have long gone by. As regards to your question, then my tale is as follows. You may have heard of an island called Syra that lies above Ordiga, where the land begins to turn around and look in another direction. It's not very thickly peopled, but the soil is good, with much pasture fit for cattle and sheep, and it abounds with wine and wheat. Dearth never ever comes there, nor are the people plagued by sickness, but when they grow old, Apollo comes with Diana and kills them with his painless shafts. Fuck Apollo. It contains 2 communities, and my whole country is divided between these 2. My father, Centius, son of Armenius, a man comparable to the gods, reigned over both. Now to this place there came something cunning traders from Phoenicia, for the Phoenicians were great mariners, in a ship which they had freighted with gewgaws of all kinds. That's a new word. There happened to be a Phoenician woman in my father's house who was tall and comely, and an excellent servant. These scoundrels got a hold of her one day when she was washing her ship, seduced her, and cajoled her in ways that no woman can resist, no matter how good she may be by nature. The man who had seduced her and asked her who she was and where she came from. On this she told him her father's name. I come from Sidon, said she. I am the daughter to Erebus, a man rolling in wealth. One day I was coming into the town here by the sea, where they sold me to the man who owns this house, and he gave him their price for me. The man who had seduced her and said, Would you like to come along with us to see the house of your parents and tell you your parents themselves? Are they both alive and are said to be well? They are both alive and are said to be well off. I will do so gladly, answered she, if your men will first swear by me by a solemn oath. What is she? Milo? That you will do me no harm, by the way. They all swore, and she told them, and when they all completed their oath, and the woman said, Hush, if any of your men meets me in the street or at the well, do not let him speak to me, for fear someone would go and tell me my master, in which case he would suspect something. He would put me in prison, and would have all of you murdered. Keep your own counsel, therefore, buy your merchandise as fast as you can, and send me a word when you have done loading. I'll bring as much as gold as I can and lay my hands on, and there's something else that I can do towards paying my fare. I am nurse to the son of a good man of the house, a funny little fellow just able to run about. I will carry him off in your ship. You will get a great deal of money for him if you take him and sell him in foreign parts. On this, she went back to the house. The Phoenicians stayed a whole year until they loaded their ship with much precious merchandise, and then when they got their freight enough, they sent it to tell the women. Their messenger, a very cunning fellow, came to my father's house, bringing a necklace of gold with amber beads strung among it. And while my mother and the servants had their hands admiring it and bargaining about it, she made a sign quietly to the woman, and then went back to the ship. Whereon she took me by the hand and let me out of the house. In the forepart of the house, she saw the tables set and the cups of guests who had been feasting with my father, as being in attendance by him. These are now gone to the meeting of public assembly. So she snatched up the 3 cups and carried them off in the blossom of her dress, while I followed her, for I knew no better. The sun was now set, and the darkness was all over the land, so we hurried as fast as we could until we reached the harbor, where the Phoenician ship was lying. When they had gone on board, they sailed their ways over the sea, taking us with them, and Zeus sent them then a fair wind. 6 days we sailed both night and day, but on the 7th day Diana struck the woman, and she fell heavily down into the ship's hold, she were a seagull lying alligator on the water, so they threw her overboard to the seals and the fishes, and I was left all sorrowful and alone. Presently the winds and waves took the ship to Ithaca, where Latres gave sundry of his chattels for me. And thus it was that I ever came to set eyes upon this country. Oh gosh. Odysseus answered, Eurymachus, I've had heard the story of your misfortunes, and with the most lively interest and pity, but Zeus has given you good as well as evil, for in spite of everything you have a good master who sees you that you always have enough to eat and drink, and you lead a good life, whereas I'm still going about begging my way from city to city. Thus they did converse, and then they only had a little time left for sleep, for soon it was daybreak. In the meantime, Telemachus and his crew were nearly land, so they loosed the sails and took down the mast and rowed the ship into harbor. They cast out their mooring stones and made it fast to hawsers, and they got out upon the seashore, mixed their wine, and got dinner ready. As soon as they had there's 2 hads in here. As soon as they had enough to eat and drink, Telemachus said, Take the ship onto the town, but leave me here, for I want to look after the herdsmen on one of my farms. In the evening, when I have seen what I want, I'll come down to the city, and tomorrow morning, in return for your noble trouble, I will give you all a good dinner with meat and wine. Then Theoclymus said, And what, my dear young friend, is to become of me? To whose house among your chief men am I to repair? Shall I go straight to your own house and to your mother? At any other time, replied Telemachus, I should have bidden you to go to my own house, for you would find no want of hospitality at the present moment. However, you will not be comfortable there, for I shall be away, my mother will not see you. She does not often show herself even to the suitors, but sits at her loom weaving an upper chamber, out of their way. But I can tell you a man whose house you can go to. I mean, Eurymachus, the son of Polybus, who is held in the highest estimation in everyone in Ithaca. He is much as the best man as the most persistent wooer for all those who are paying court to my mother and trying to take Odysseus' place. Zeus, however, in heaven alone, knows whether they will not come to a bad end before the marriage takes place. As he was speaking, a bird flew by upon his right hand, a hawk, Apollo's messenger. Ooh, Apollo. It's interesting how all the gods are just, working. Like, it's crazy. It held a dove in its talons, and the feathers, as they tore them off, fell to the ground midway between Telemachus and the ship. On this, Theoclymus called them apart and caught them by the hand. Telemachus, said he, that bird did not fly in your right hand without having been sent here by some god. As soon as I saw it, I knew it was an omen. It means that you will remain powerful, and that will be no house in Ithaca more royal than your own. I wish it may prove so, answered Telemachus. If it does, I will show you much goodwill, and give you so many presents that all who would meet you and congratulate you. Then he said to his friend Pyrrhus, son of Clynius, you have throughout shown yourself the most willing to serve me all those who have accompanied me to Pylos. I wish you would take the stranger to your own house and entertain him hospitably, till I can come for him. Then Piraeus answered, Telemachus, you may stay away as long as you please, but I will look after him for you, and he shall find no lack of hospitality. As he spoke, he went on board and bade the others do so as also as loose the hosters, so they took their places in the ship. But Telemachus bound on his sandals and took a long and doughty spear with the head of a sharpened bronze from the deck of the ship. Then oh, that's how he got his weapon. They loosened the hoisters and thrust the ship off from land, and made on towards the city that they had been told to do, while Telemachus strode on as fast as he could, till he reached the homestead where his countless herds of swine were feeding, and where dwelt with the excitement swineherd who was so devoted a servant to his master. Book 15's done. Apparently, that's what hawk. Kind of like similar to how an owl is like a symbol of Athena, which makes sense. So that's the end of book 15, and I'll probably save this for the next stream. And the next part, you're gonna like this, guys. Odysseus reveals to it says Ulysses, but I'm reading it as the Greek names. Odysseus reveals himself to Telemachus. So that's definitely different than the musical. That's really cool. I can't wait to see how that plays out. So they end up at the same time, and he's like, son, oh my god, I have... I don't want to spend I would love to read more, but my voice, I can't read forever, and this has been 2 hours, but, I'm really excited to see where this is gonna go. As always. I'm itching ever closer. I'm hoping, like, at maybe next week I might have more time, but who knows. But I know that I'm approaching graduation soon. I have this week, I have like a showcase to go to, which is like for my film stuff that I did. And then next week I don't attend classes because my parents are taking me on a cruise, actually. That Margaritaville cruise are like, oh, we should try that out. So it's actually really funny that they're taking me there. Like, and skipping like a week of school for it. Oh man, it's funny. It's really funny, but it's a family thing. When that goes on. But yeah, it's gosh, it's gonna be, and I'm just gonna be listening to Epic or like the whole time, and then like, and Ithaca's waiting, Viking. It's really cool. We're going to Mexico, which I haven't been to. I will get some pictures and footage. I'll probably show them on stream, but I was thinking maybe, oh my gosh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so we're traveling from Tampa to Mexico, which is like that Caribbean area. I've never been to a Caribbean, like, area before, and I haven't been to Mexico since, like, 2019. We used to go to, like, Cabo San Lucas, like, every year. It has Lucas in it. But, like, not to be ironic, but, like, I grew up going there every, like, spring break every year, because we used to have, like, it was a nice place, and now everything's going crazy over there. But luckily, this part of Mexico is, like, chill. I don't think I've ever been to, like, not the Baja California part. I've been there a few times, but I still need to go on, like, the Caribbean side, which is going to be interesting. It's a 4-day cruise, which is nice. It's not like a week long. like 4 days is nice. It's like a little quick getaway. Wi-Fi spotty, so it's kind of nice to kind of drop the like devices and just kind of like take like a break and just have fun without having screens in your face for a while, like, for a while. I know people would be like, "Oh my god, I can't." I'm like, just read a book or download stuff ahead of time. I may or may not like download the new Stranger Things spinoff that's coming out. That's I'm really excited for. I know people are shitting on it, but I'm really curious to see how this really goes. I really want to know how it goes because holy shit, they look cute, guys. It's an underrated opinion on my part, but they're cute. They look cute. I know it looks like Arcane, but shut the fuck up. I mean, I'll watch it just because I want to see how these actors do. But I'm definitely gonna download it and watch it if they give me. Well, it's on the 23rd, so I'll download it. And I'm going on the cruise roughly. I think it's through. I get back on the 4th of April, not April, May, which is literally finals week, and then I graduate after this cruise. I graduate literally 4 days later after that. I think I've seen this in the anime one. Yeah, it's the animated Tales of 85. Stranger Things thing. It's the new one. They're coming out. But, I don't know if it's gonna be good. We don't know until it comes out. I can't really judge it until I see it, you know? That's kind of the things nowadays where people expect everything to be bad. Like, oh god. Like, it's gonna be terrible. And then it turns out to be, like, really good. And they're like, you know what? I underestimated you. It's funny. Early celebration cruise, yeah, exactly, because I couldn't make it to the... Because I'm going home when my parents are going on another one with my niece. So, oh, now my thing gets excellent. Now my fucking stream gets excellent. God damn it, YouTube. But... but, like, it's really funny to me that, yeah, while I'm home, I'll be able to work on, and since college is done, I'll be able to work more on the projects, I think, efficiently. Besides also going through the pain of trying to find a job, but at least I don't have to worry about deadlines as much, and I can just live, like, comfortably for a while, and holy crap, I need a fucking break after being in school for 4 fucking years. Like, this shit, like, good fucking lord. Like, I asked, like, my parents, I asked my advisor, I asked, like, is this a good idea? Should I do that? Because when I graduated high school, all I had was summer break, and then I had to go into college, and then my advisor's like, dude, no, take a break for, like, no longer than a month, at least. Like, don't worry about it. I'm like, I want to do my little projects. I want to work on Outbreak. I want to work on that damn Italia thing. I just want to get to it. Skybound's coming, by the way. I haven't did the teaser yet. I have the audio. I just haven't found the time to do it. I will do it tonight, though. I will post that. Because, okay, now the plan is I'm gonna upload, like, periodically the Skybound acts. There's Act 1, there's Act 2, there's Act 3. It's because I want to at least release something. If I don't have the full thing at once, at least I have... like, that to kind of, like, not stress me out. I'm doing the same thing with the MCSM documentary, and then this year I'll post for the 11th anniversary of Minecraft Story Mode. It will be the complete, like, Season 1 section. Mind you, that's only Season 1 with what I'm doing with this documentary so far. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be wild. This is like a whole, like, yearly thing. This thing might be done by 2030 if I go by every year. That's my guess. But yeah, the audio drama stuff, I definitely want to get to episode 5. I have to get the voice acting done for episode 5 of Outbreak season 1. Did I already tell you that it's going to be kind of a couple seasons? I think I did, but I don't know if I told you about it, but it's going to have a couple more. Maybe. I know it's going to have another season because there's like a... Yeah. But yeah, I've learned to space it out a bit because I'm not like in a position, and I really wish that, and I'm glad I'm not, where like people are pressuring, like some YouTubers have people like, oh my god, I love this thing, and they pressure like the fuck out of them, and it's like to the point where they're like, I'm not interested in doing it. I want to take the time just to work on my passion as I can. It's just that the thing with college is like you have a lot of like a lot of assignments, and once I have like that month and get myself situated, then it's like, okay, I kind of know where I'm going now because I don't have that in the way anymore, except for the fact I have to find a job, which that's the next step. But given not to call it lazy, like not to say I won't do it, but like given the job market, I'm gonna have to like take it easy a little bit because it's like dog eat dog out there right now. Because oh my god, it's so at least I'll have time to work on my stories, work on my audio dramas, and all that fun stuff. I cannot wait for the day when I can finally adapt Radical Decade and shift a decade into its own little audio thing. Oh my god, it's gonna be good. I just gotta finish the story. I know what I'm doing. I just gotta do it and write it down and But first, I have to graduate, and that's in like 3 weeks from now, if you don't count next week. So I hate ceremonies. I don't like graduation, but what I'm gonna do on my cap is gonna draw like Mike from Stranger Things with his little orange little gown thing he wears. I'm so happy they had oh man. I'm gonna draw like little characters with their little, gowns. But I can wait because it'll be worth it. Just wait until I adapt Dimensions. That's another fucking like can of worms right there. Dimensions, holy fuck. That story has been in like an idea or concept longer than Radical Decade was. Fuck, man. At least I have a set like back then I was adding too much to it, and now I kind of have like when I look down, because Dimensions is a crossover, right? You want to add in like, oh, I want to add in this character, but what it will serve to the story. So it kind of like threw me in a loop. I'm like, okay, I gotta really narrow it down. Like, who do I want to put in here and stuff? And considering that Dimensions no longer has 6 parts in it, it's gonna be 9 at least, because there's like, Sonic and Jet story mode characters for a while, and then like the next one has like Mike and Sonic, and like I know you're probably thinking, oh my god, I'm talking out of my ass, but long story short, Dimensions is a crossover story that I had an idea for like a long ass time. I'm trying to like put that together. But yeah, Radical Decade's definitely one of those other stories that I'm like really excited. Yeah, 9, I know, Mag. It's God, it would take me so. It'd be like I'm like Odysseus right now. I have to explain this whole thing. Yeah, so 9 was actually pretty recent. It used to be 6, but now I'm like I want to add more worlds, but it's gonna be different arcs. That's kind of why it's 9 now, and there's gonna be like a new like villain. And I was thinking of calling him Lazarus. More Greek names. But maybe I don't know, it's something to do with like the story. I don't know if I told this on stream about the main story around Dimensions and why the characters come together. It's basically the whole thing is that there's these guardians in this one world, and they're trying to get rid of, fight this entity thing, and one of the leaders of that world, or one of the islands, okay, Now I gotta switch to I'm gonna have to tell this a different stream, because I don't want to drag this long as I have to, but I need to talk about dimensions in one stream, because there's a lot to talk about. When is it ever not a lot to talk about it? Because it's a really weird idea. I have so many, like, things to talk about. It's like a whole separate thing, but anyway. If you guys want me to do that, I can. Like, at some point, like, Dimensions talk or whatever. Kind of explain the lore a little bit of that. I know with Dimensions I'm trying to do, the way I have it set up now, it's kind of like, I'm trying to do some things that aren't common in crossover stories. Like, yeah, you got, like, these two unlikely fucking people coming together, but, like, I don't know, I want to make it a little unique. I would do, a separate stream, but I'm, like, really fucking tired of reading all that. But I definitely will do a Dimensions talk at some point, because that would be really fun to talk about it, because there's a lot, and maybe, maybe you can give me suggestions of what to do. Actually, I'll ask you guys right now, like, what's the common, like, issue you see with, like, crossover stories, like, in general? I will rest my voice in a second, but I just want to know, like, I know there's also, like, a problem of, like, characters being overly powerful just for the sake of the story, but I want to have the idea of the characters having their strengths and weaknesses. Like, what can they go against? Like, what are their limits, you know? Things kind of delayed, so I might have to answer your question. I guess that everybody is just okay with these sun characters in their world. Yeah, but what I did here is that they all end up in a different world of their own, so they're kind of like, that kind of creates that conflict that they have to, like, work together already, like that. Like, neither of them are in their world of their own. Like, this is something they gotta figure out. I don't read a lot of crossover stories. Yeah, that's understandable. But, like, I'm just curious if you guys had, read enough, or, like, have a grasp and idea of what people commonly do with them. I don't read them as much either, and I'm making one. but like, a lot of the times what I see, like, is that thing where people overly, like, you know, overpower one character, like, oh, this character's OP, like, as shit. But if they don't have, like, such materials, it, like, kind of defaults them. Or, like, lowers their power thing down, or whatever. Their abilities. Ugh, excuse me. Yeah, out of character as well. I do agree with that. You gotta keep everyone in character. Or, like, fanfics in general. Like, what's the common thing, you know? What I'm saying? Not just, like, just crossovers, but maybe I need to go, like, more, like, a broader, like, topic. I almost knocked over my water bottle. I know out of character is a big one people tend to not like. If you guys even read a lot of fanfiction, just to get some idea, so I know, so I can take in tips. again, I might be delayed reading your chat because the stream is just it's wonky as fuck. If I ever read a lot of fanfiction, yeah, I mean, you're like, what kind of question is that? Of course, I read a lot of fanfiction. I mean, but like, I'm asking like things. Oh, sorry, I had a D20 in my hand. I don't know what else to say for the time being. I guess I'll just sign off and rest my voice for the sake of it. But yeah. Thanks for people for watching. I don't want to have this drawn out to 3 hours, but I really appreciate the time. I'm hoping to talk to y'all soon. And, yeah. Have a good night, y'all. Peace out. See you in the next reading. Bye.